Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of Sketch Watch Play. I am John Fleury.
And I'm Christopher Wade.
He's back, everyone! Applause, applause.
How's it going, everyone? I am sorry that I was not around for the gigantic Sonic episode you and Colin did.
If you let Colin loose about something he's passionate about, you get a 3-hour episode.
Yeah, he just went fucking crazy on that.
Have you listened to all of it?
You guys have fun. No, I hadn't had a chance to listen to all of it, but
yeah,
it was a crazy episode.
I thought I knew a lot about Sonic.
No, no, you don't.
Colin
Neither
was
do
able
I.
to point out like character arcs in Sonic Lost World. I was like, oh,
yeah. Like I mean, I saw the character arcs on YouTube, and I caught. Yeah, I played Lost World too. It wasn't.
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But, I do want to give just another shout out to Colin. Even though it would have been cool to have you in on this as well, like he did a terrific job of filling in and just dropping some huge knowledge bombs. And he has a really good sense of what makes good and bad Sonic mechanics.
He really does.
Why the series has an identity crisis and so on. Like he gets it.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So honestly, yeah, if there was going to be any past guests that we should have had on for that, it probably should have been him. Granted, I know Felipe is a Sonic fan. Patrick's a former Sonic fan. Okay, maybe not Patrick. I told him to play Generations. He's like, nah, looks like crap, John.
No, so, we get. I would love to play Generations with Patrick. That'd be fun.
Well, he's full disclosure. He's moved back to our area as of last week.
Yeah, I remember you. I remember you saying that. I want to hang out with him
like
again.
8 years in New York, you can definitely count on seeing him on the podcast again soon. He's very nearby. Because when we did the Pokemon episode, that was kind of the same situation where when we had Colin and Tyrone, and you were there because they were recording from your end and over Skype or whatever. And Patrick was on my end, so we'll probably do something like that again. But so. Even though our main topic for this episode, which is going to be kind of spin-off Sonic material, such as primarily cartoons, but also stuff like comics and just any miscellaneous memories we have. Since it turns out, Chris, you said we actually don't really have a time limit for you this time around.
No, not this time around.
I want to start with, I wrote a list of the games we talked about in terms of the main Sonic series and to get your quick thoughts on each of them.
Sure.
So we're going to go in chronological order. What do you want to say about your thoughts on the original Genesis trilogy and even stuff like CD?
The original Genesis trilogy was, I think it's far and away like my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog installments. Like even as a kid when I started playing Sonic Adventure and the and the post Genesis series
3D games,
yeah, I didn't really like them. I mean, I enjoyed the 3D aspect of them. I enjoyed like running around and hearing the gnarly voice acting when you were able to actually hear what was going on.
Oh, when the music wasn't drawing them out, or they weren't talking
over
each other.
but honestly, I did not buy a Dreamcast. I didn't either.
I bought the GameCube ports.
Yeah, well, even then, I didn't even buy the GameCube ports. Like I may have rented them, but as a kid, like I just went to Toys R Us and I just played straight through like Sonic Adventure, and then when I was done with Super Sonic, I was like,
there.
I'm sorry?
I remember seeing Toys R Us was so big back then. That's where I first saw Sonic Adventure and also Mario 64, which for anybody who wasn't around for it, that really was the game changer. That was the game that let everybody know like 3D was here to stay. Yeah. And just the idea of moving Mario around in all these directions was so mind-blowing.
Yeah, but the thing with Mario is always rooted back to his mechanics and having like good foundations. And even though 64 is ugly as sin now,
it's still fun. I still enjoy it.
I still enjoy it like unironically, like so many times, and I still want to try the green mushroom demon challenge. Apparently that's the thing. Like I forget who exactly coded the game to do this, but in Mario 64 you can there are super secret 1-up mushrooms,
right?
And the trick is to gather up all the 8 red coins without having this 1-up mushroom touch you. It follows you throughout the entire level.
Oh, that's right, it does.
Yeah, so you have to do your very best not to get not to get a one up, or you have to try it all over again. It looks really fun. I've seen a couple Let's Players do it.
Yeah, but I'm sure that we're going to do a full Mario episode someday. We can talk about more stuff like that. I am kind of ashamed that our first Mario centric episode was about the movie.
Yeah, but you know what?
It was a fun one.
It was fun. It was fun looking at. It was fun like diving into the knowledge of the movie again. I had a blast, but
it was also fun coming out perspective of someone who loves it and someone who despises it.
I have I don't want to say a love-hate relationship because
you talked about how mad you were trying to watch it.
Yeah, it's not a great film.
Oh, it's terrible, but it's entertaining. It's a high budget B movie.
It's still entertaining in a way that I can deeply respect. Like as if I I may be going back on what I said before, but as a kid, I did hate the movie. But when I watched it later on, I was like, there are things I can appreciate about it. I didn't
see it while you were in college. I misunderstood.
Well, that's what I'm. In college that's when I saw it again. As a kid, I saw it. And I hated it and didn't really watch it the entire way through. Okay. And that was when I saw it in college. My buddy, my roommate buddy Rambo was like,
"Yeah, you talked about this.
Stop hating things."
Yeah, but before we get back to Sonic, I also want to say quick tangent. I stopped by your place. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? It was It was a recent weekend.
Yeah.
And I showed you Mario Rapids, and
and I didn't hate it.
See, Rapids, their charm is getting to you.
You know what? There were points, I have to admit, I genuinely did laugh. I really did.
I showed you I put a clip of this on Tumblr, and it's gotten really popular. The defeat of Rabid Kong with Rabid Peach is hysterical.
Yeah, that was actually pretty well written. I mean, I do hate these characters or archetypes a lot, but I got to give credit where credit is due. They did a good job on this game.
And the gameplay is really so in depth for this game.
It really does. It really does.
Surprisingly hard too. It gets pretty brutal.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to buy it. It's not my type of game, but I will try it at some point. I
swear I heard Colin say on our episode that he's going to bring it to your house, so you might ask him to just bring his copy or something.
Sure, I'll do that. That'll be great.
It's fun. Just give it a little shot. And
I will.
I'm sure you'll love the fact that you have a party of 3 at a time. One has to be Mario, and it can't be all Mario characters. You have to have 1 or 2 Rabbids going with them.
Okay, we can do that. I mean, I don't mind. That's fine. Yeah,
just do Rabid Peach. She's hilarious.
My seething, burning hatred did not overwhelm me as much as I thought it would. So it's cool.
Yeah, but your thoughts on the Genesis games again? Because we got way off track.
Super off topic. But like, okay, so as a kid with Sonic 1, like, there was a new kid on the block. I thought it was fast and amazing. I felt like my brain was on autopilot because sometimes the game is kind of on autopilot, but it does make you stop and think at times on what's the best route to take. What do you need to do to get past these obstacles?
Time your jumps.
Goddamn time jumps. Goddamn these cheap enemy placements. But Sonic 1 always felt incomplete to me. Like even as a kid, like even when I got all 6 Chaos Emeralds.
No. Oh, it says right there that's incomplete. They're missing a Chaos Emerald.
Yeah. Like I felt like cool. There are more flowers now. Awesome. Sonic 2 came around.
Yeah,
and that was a vicious game.
But that's where things got really awesome.
Yeah, they did. And the invention of Super Sonic was it's pretty cliche, but I loved it. And as a kid,
DBC.
As a kid, I knew nothing about Dragon Ball. No. So I was still pretty.
It took me a while to figure it out, honestly.
Well, eventually, but I was still pretty wowed by it. I think I told you.
What?
But playing Sonic 2, I was one of the kids that got all the that played it so much that I got all the Chaos Emeralds before I left Emerald Hill Zone.
Jesus.
And there's a glitch. I actually figured this out by accident because I used to have my small television like away from my bed, and this is before the time when wireless controllers were a thing. So as I'm playing, I'm jerking the system
jerking the system. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. It wasn't what I thought. What I meant.
If you get Sonic involved in the internet, then
God,
there's a lot of jerking out there.
There's going to be a picture of this. So I'm I'm tugging the controller left and right. That's not any better, but I'm still going to go with it.
Have you ever seen that old Sega magazine ad where it's a drawing of a hand with a joystick, and the slogan is, "The more you play with it, the harder it gets"?
I saw that. And,
Jesus Christ!
That was
Sonic 2.
That was something. Okay. I yanked the system off of my table, and it restarted. Like, it legit reset. I was like chemical plant zone, and I had all the emeralds before I did that. I was like, damn it. Now this is at a point where I think I already had Supersonic at this point, but I still liked playing through the game over and over again. So the game resetted, and I had to run around and grab 50 rings starting at Emerald Hill Zone again. And I'm like, okay, I got to get to the start post. Got 50 rings, and I jumped before I got into the the special stage. I turned into Supersonic. Like, it's for some reason that's a legit glitch that if you reset your Sega Genesis and you had all your emeralds before Chemical Plant Zone or something, then you can turn it. Then the game will restart to Emerald Hill Zone, and you can turn into Supersonic without having to go back and get the emeralds again.
That's a good kind of glitch, if you ask me.
It was. I'm not sure. I don't have my Genesis, so I can't try it again.
I mean, maybe it was a legit part of the game that King Candy locked away. Spoilers for Wreck-It Ralph.
God, I love the King Candy. Okay,
it's my Fungin.
It's my Fungin. You know,
glazed me.
It's a dungeon. It's a fun dungeon. It's a play on words. Never mind. So I'm playing through Sonic 2, and Death Egg Zone rocked my shit forever. I could not beat
Death Egg. It still rocks your shit to this day.
Not to this day. I know.
That then is not forever. You lied.
Well, I mean, what I meant to say was for a few months.
Okay.
And as a kid, that feels like forever.
Yes.
And I could not beat this shit for the life of me. And somehow I managed to get it. Somehow I managed to win by spin dashing and hitting this dude in the chest.
Are you talking about the last Robotnik, that big egg mech?
Yeah. The Death Egg.
Yeah.
So that was Sonic 2, and Sonic 2 was a blast.
And then we get to Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles, oh my god. Like, I can't tell you how much of effect on me it had to see a kind of continuous story kind of play about without words.
It was the most cinematic, technically, of those games.
Yeah, and they really didn't do much, but back then you really didn't need to do that much to give the impression that a story was taking place.
I mean, the story, that opening 20 seconds tells you everything. You got your emerald stolen, and Knuckles a dick.
Yeah, definitely. You got your emerald stolen. Knuckles is a dick. Let's see. Knuckles is just, I don't know, flipping switches and you just drop down to another zone for some reason.
Doing that snickery looking laugh.
Yeah, bullshitty laugh. I'm like, dude, come on! I'm trying to help you out.
No, Robotnik told me you're evil.
Robotnik says you're the bad guy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Smooth move, knucklehead. That's adventure.
I think I said that as a kid, and I thought it was the most clever fucking thing.
Calling him a knucklehead?
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, what is your favorite of the three?
My favorite of the three is Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Okay, and for the record, I believe Colin said that is still his favorite Sonic game ever.
Yeah. And I can see that. I mean, currently, my favorite Sonic game right now is Sonic Mania.
Well, we're getting up to that, and I'm really glad that you're going to be gushing about it, because I worry that me and Colin made some enemies. I think we accentuated our problems with the game too much, even though we both really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this up front. The game has its problems. I've run into some glitches here and there.
Oh, I wasn't talking about glitches, but okay. So, do you want to talk about the? I guess so. You weren't as big on the adventure games, you said.
I was not big on the adventure games.
Yeah, even when they were considered good.
And I think at that point, I was already exposed to Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. I came into 3D rather late. Like, it was at a time when I think the PlayStation was just getting its legs, or not getting its legs, like long after the PlayStation had its legs.
So late 90s.
Yeah, very late. And at that point, I was like, cool, maybe now I can play Sonic Adventure. And I played Sonic Adventure, and I wanted to like it more, but I felt really frustrated by it.
Yeah, because even if there's like one gameplay style you like, it throws too much at you.
I kind of appreciated the fact that you can play as Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, but Tails didn't play. The Tails' campaign did not seem terribly different from Sonic's campaign.
No, it was just the same, but race Sonic, and Knuckles was not what you want.
Yeah, Knuckles was pretty frustrating.
Even when I loved the games, I didn't like the Emerald Hunts with him. And
Rouge. I don't think many people like the Emerald Hunts. I didn't know who Amy was. Fun fact: I didn't play CD until college. I think
it was the first. Okay, it was actually the first. I brought this up. It was the first Sonic game I ever owned because we got the PC port when we got our first CD-ROM Windows 98 computer.
Awesome.
Yeah. I have some nostalgia for it.
We shall high five over the internet. I just happened to like download it in college, and I didn't.
Well, they re-released it on GameCube in a.
I didn't see the appeal with Sonic CD. I wanted to, and I thought the going back and forth between different time periods was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I like jumping on springs and seeing Sonic do that twirl. It's my fucking favorite thing in Mania, honestly. Mm-hmm. But I just couldn't get around. I couldn't really get behind the level design in CD. And I know Sonic games have a problem with level design. I will say that. Yes, they can. I happen to love the levels, but I do see some of the criticisms out there when it comes to levels like Osei, Labyrinth Zone, or maybe Ice Cap Zone or something like that.
So we've talked CD Adventure. Did you play any of the when things really started to go bad? Like did you play Heroes, Shadow, 06, any of those?
Yeah, my friend had Heroes, and I really wanted to like Heroes.
Oh, same. I was so hyped for it.
I was too, and I gotta be honest, like the music in these Sonic games and these post Genesis Sonic games were fucking rad. I'm not even gonna joke. They're pretty fucking radical, and I mean that both ironically and unironically. Like every now and then, I'll pump up, open your heart,
and you will sing.
Every now and then, I'll play it on YouTube or whatever.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of the vocal tracks from most of the 3D Sonic games still on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are on Spotify too.
But after a while, I just went to Overclocked Remix and downloaded a couple of the remixes from up there. Like nowadays, there are some great, awesome remixes out there. Like, have you listened to what was it called? Project Chaos?
I have not listened to many remixes, honestly.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's a remix collection for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, essentially.
Okay.
And the remix community is fucking badass nowadays.
Them using Sonic 3 means we get some Michael Jackson remixes.
Oh God, I will
look it up, people. It's complicated.
Well, I think that there is a track or two in Mania that is that has that kind of vibe to it. That has that Michael Jackson vibe to it by T-Lopes, I think. But back to Dreamcast era and things
and Heroes and stuff.
And Heroes and Shadow the Hedge. I think it was between Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog where it kind of hit me that these games are bad.
Shadow was what hit me because I was hoping they would learn from the mistakes of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And after playing Shadow, I was like, no, this is the norm for Sonic now.
This is, and it at the time, like we weren't really getting a lot of Sonic games at the time. They were just, they kind of just happened. We were getting
like a lot of handheld spin-offs. That's when Advanced
and stuff like that. And the handhelds like Sonic Advance and all that, and Sonic Rush, those were pretty solid. Like
they're better than the console ones at the time. Yeah. Me and Colin talked about it because he actually credits Dash for in creating the boost system that led to a better console game. So, did you ever play 06?
Yeah.
What was that like?
06. Well, it was.
I guess
it was an experience playing 06. I wanted to like it so much, and let me tell you that there were some opening images of Sonic 06 that got me super hyped, and one of them was this large image of just a giant green plateau, and you just see Sonic in midair, just dashing, and just like grass particles flying right behind him.
That first reveal trailer?
I think so. So. And you know what? I felt really good about that. I was like, "Oh man, this looks awesome!" It out. Yeah, well, it's a kind of weeboo Final Fantasy Sonic that I thought would be the better direction for Sonic because I just happened to be a big SquareSoft fanboy at the time.
Yeah.
And then they showed the Chrono Iblis trigger, whatever the hell,
Solaris, Iblis, Nephilis, all your favorite Sonic characters,
and the girl.
Elise.
And well, let me say at least that opening sequence, I was pumped. I'm not even joking. Like
even with all the realistic humans.
Well, suave, debonair, Dr. Eggman, who is after the flames of disaster. I actually kind of like that.
Okay.
And I hear you groaning. I am right there with you because at the time, any high production Sonic scene that gave me hope, I was automatically with it.
No, from a visual standpoint, it was nice. And actually, there was a lot of Sonic games like that. Like the Wii games had really good like pre-rendered FMVs. Shadow did. The one at the beginning with Unleashed was spectacular.
Yeah. And I was willing to give it a shot. I didn't buy 06.
Good.
I was still very wary of how it was coming along. And when I heard
after Heroes, I was like, I'm renting these first.
when I think I played it at a friend's house, but oh no.
What?
Oh no, I think I did buy 06.
You're unlocking a repressed memory of buying a shitty game.
I did buy shit.
When it came out?
Not when it came out. Okay. No, I bought it a little after because, well,
I actually did buy it like 2 weeks ago for like $4.
Oh boy. Well, at least they won't be getting any money anymore.
No, they delisted it.
Yeah. So I was excited to buy it. And I played it at a friend's house, and let's see, the opening section was the weird water town where all these non-emotive human beings going, "Hey, what's up?"
They have stock sound effects that when you walk them in. One of them is just, "Hey."
I'm like, man, this is exciting.
This is Sonic.
And Sonic is like so disproportionate to like everyone else.
They don't fit. They don't.
It doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't fit at all.
And here's the thing. I literally just found out the other day, when this game started development, it was originally conceived as a new franchise.
It was.
And then a little after the way, let's put Sonic in here. What's the worst that can happen?
And you know what? People like to defend this game. I mean, they like to say that it's bad, but it has some good points.
The Sonic fan base is willing to put up with so much.
Yeah, like a lot of fans and fan bases out there. But let me hone in on a couple of good parts about Sonic 06. The music.
Yes, Colin brought this up too.
Yeah, the music I thought was pretty great.
I love Silver's theme song.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the theme song too. That's it.
You made it sound like it would be like a little list. It's like, nope.
Nope. I will play Sonic's intro theme to 06 like 1,000 times a day if I could. And it wasn't his world, but I do love his world.
I will also say one of the best final boss themes in any game.
Yes,
look it up. Solaris Phase 2. It's basically like an epic orchestral version of his world, and it's epic.
I love Solaris. Like I had this dream that I would create a Sonic cartoon, and that at one of like the pinnacle high points of the series finale, I was going to use that theme, and I was like,
it would be the equivalent of an anime series finale playing the theme song for the big climax.
Yes. I am so sorry of how excited I am about that.
No, but I'm going to put it in the background this part so they can understand how amazing that track is.
But
it's still from Sonic 06.
It is still from Sonic 06, and the visual aesthetic to Sonic 06 is a fucking travesty.
It's so ugly.
It's so bad.
And it barely looks above a PS2 game.
you have this giant, big-headed creature who does not emote very well when he's in when he's just like flailing in cinematic form.
Oh, not to mention, I said in the episode this was like my least favorite voice actor for Sonic, the 4Kids guy. Like, hey, Tails! Oh no,
hey, oh no! I'm actually really forgiving when it comes to voice acting. So I mean, and you know this about me. So honestly,
I liked a lot of the others. So
yeah, well, honestly, the voice acting was.
Do you know who voiced Princess Elise?
Who?
Lacey Chabert.
Who's Lacey Chabert?
She was on Party of Five. She was the voice of Eliza Thornberry. She was in Mean Girls, and she was the original voice of Meg Griffin.
Oh, get out! Wow,
yeah.
I did not know that. Oh, but I actually liked.
She's like the biggest name they've ever gotten for a Sonic game.
Yeah, right. I actually liked her design, but what really broke the game for me. And I didn't want to really articulate it. When I talk about how bad the visual aesthetic was, or is that when during the opening sequence, when like Dr. Robotnik the steps in, he's like, "You got the chaos armor around your neck," and Sonic's like, "Here I am," and he like picks up Elise, and he's like running, and all those missiles are behind him. That shot is supposed to be really fucking cool, but when I see giant, big-headed Sonic carrying Elise and his a small little tiny Elise and his gangly long arms, I'm just like, their designs do not match in this world.
Okay. Oh god, you just reminded me of an equivalent in something that might be even worse. Have you ever seen the Felix the Cat movie?
Yes, I have.
That is one of the worst things ever. And you have classic Felix, that same, 20s design, and a Disney princess ripoff who might as well be like bargain bin Ariel or something, and it doesn't fit at all. It's the same thing.
The Felix the Cat movie is batshit insane.
It's one of the craziest things ever and one of the worst things ever. I honestly cannot decide if I recommend it or not.
I think that shit came on the Disney Channel.
Yes, it did.
And I watched it as a kid, and I thought, man, this is so weird. I was so in love with the weirdness. Like, I could see that. I could not really get behind.
I discovered it in college via BitTorrent, and I watched. I was kind of flabbergasted.
Yeah. Well, watching it as a kid is so much different when you're watching it as
I have
a
friend. Do you know Antonio?
I've heard of him. Yeah,
he was one of my best friends back at the Art Institute. I guess he was, like a grade. Most of us were like a grade below you. I think he said that was like a childhood favorite of his, and I'm like, you need to reevaluate your nostalgia. You have to go back and burn this bridge.
And you know what? You guys watched it, and what happened?
Oh, I don't know if he did watch it. It was on Facebook. I don't know if he ever actually.
I thought that was like a long song. I was like, I don't know what happened to him, actually.
I mean, we're still friends. Hopefully, if he did watch it didn't ruin. But okay, look. The point is, Sonic 06 is terrible.
Sonic 06 is so bad, guys. It's so bad. Like I know there are some of you out there who want to defend this game.
Yes, and we're going to get into that with cartoons as well.
Oh yeah,
every Sonic cartoon has legions of fans.
Yes, and you know what? I can understand that there are things that you may like about it, but objectively, Sonic 06 is a terrible game. Stop playing it, please. Please, God, stop playing this game.
Okay, so what do you think of Unleashed?
I actually did not play much of Unleashed.
Okay.
I couldn't get behind a werehog.
Yeah, you did almost everyone else.
This was when it came out. It was for the Wii. Wasn't
they did one version for Wii and PS2, and another for the HD consoles.
Okay,
so the level layouts were different. Some of the mechanics were different, and the standard def versions had no hub levels, just menus.
Yeah. So, I had the Wii for like 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
And then I stopped playing it.
Yeah, Raving Rabbids kind of killed your interest.
Yes, it did. Like that did. So by the time Sonic Unleashed came out, I was already done with the Wii, and my PlayStation 2, I think I already given it away by that point. I just wasn't interested. I think at that point I was so done with Sonic games that I didn't.
This was the point where most of us had really given up, because 06 was supposed to be the return to form, and instead it was the biggest disaster.
Yeah, and this was around the time when Sega was like, we're trying something new, and they were trying something new like every time. Like they knew they were doing a gimmick. And the problem was everyone else knew they were doing a gimmick,
and everybody else, it wasn't one they wanted.
Yeah, and when you're saying that half of your game is good, and I know the daytime levels are supposed to be superior, I get that, But if half of your game is good, guys, you know how math works, right?
You still get a 50. That's still a failing grade.
That's a failing grade, guys. Come on.
Okay. We can rush over that. Colors. Did you play Colors?
I did play Colors. I actually kind of liked Colors.
Colors was the first, like, oh, it can be fun again.
That opening sequence when it's like when Dr. Eggman is like, I have built an entire amusement park because I am a nice guy now.
I'm sorry, this isn't a new scheme.
This isn't a new scheme at all.
And we talked about Colin pointed out this is when the series got new American writers, and they'd kind of learned to abandon the taking yourself seriously epic plot and just be cartoony and lighthearted and even a little meta again. And
I'm kind of glad that they did. The meta thing, it's not for everyone.
I do miss having the plot to have a little more substance, but the character dialogue, I noticed immediately, this is much more natural and fun.
Yeah, and I think the series needed to have that. If the series wasn't willing,
it needed a refresher.
If it wasn't willing to poke fun of it at itself, then there was no way it was going to become good
especially
again.
At that point. Also, the voice recast with a lot better batch. Though they kept the 4Kids Eggman because he was too good.
Eggman still, I mean, the guy who plays Eggman, he's the longest running voice actor for the series.
Yeah, and probably my favorite at this point. I did like the Dreamcast one, but he died.
Yeah, that's a shame. But the guy who's currently doing Eggman, who's been doing it for a long time, he is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like keep doing what you're doing, dude. That's fucking great.
And he's also I want to give a shout out to that guy, Mike Pollock. I'm sure we'll talk about him more when we get to the newer cartoons.
Yeah,
he is such a great guy in terms of reaching out and responding to fans.
Is he?
You can see him very commonly in YouTube reviews discussing games or cartoons he's been in, and he'll respond about it. Like if anybody is aware of like some like the shittiest video knockoffs of Disney Pixar movies, like Ratatouille, What's Up, Balloons the Rescue, like bargain bin cash grabs of like Pixar movies. They got a lot of what?
Hold on, there's a Ratatouille. What?
Ratatouille. I'm gonna spell it to you. R-A-T. Do you know what? I'm gonna get a picture of it and show you it. But it's awful. It's like some like no budget Brazilian thing, and had a lot of 4Kids voice actors in it, including Mike Pollock as this big green rat. And yeah, people were going like, why did you do this? And he gave a very honest answer. He's like voice acting is not, a lucrative business.
It's not.
If you get an opportunity for work, you take it and you give it your all. I do honestly, I am proud of my work on this product, even if not the product itself.
God damn right.
And I'm sending you an image now. This is Ratatouille.
Oh my God.
It's even worse in motion. And he's the big green one on the left, and still basically the Eggman voice. They thought the idea of humor is for him to keep going precisely. It's awful.
Precisely.
Is that Pink Mouse? Is she not wearing clothes and yet has female parts?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Not genitalia, but they made the rats a little chesty. Like the character designer was going through some shit, I think.
I can see.
But anyway, so Sonic Colors was Step Right, and I know you like Generations because that was your one episode of Button Mashers.
Yes, it was. Generations was my love letter. Button Mashers was my love letter to Button Mash.
Okay.
I love Generations. The end.
Yes. Oh, I just want to ask before I forget, because I remember you also did a really short clip of Sonic and Greet Hill Zone, a little animation, like going like yay and like running for the checkpoint. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's on my YouTube channel, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was an abandoned thing because then like Shadow pops up and it's like to be continued.
Oh, you know what? I actually got really far beyond that point. This was when I was actually switching out computers, and I used to have, before the big tablet craze happened. Yeah, I used to have a convertible. Laptop that I could flip.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you have a convertible you drove around in and made cartoons.
Oh God, no!
I don't know how that works.
No. I had a convertible computer that I could actually take with me and draw on at my leisure. This was before like the Apple iPhone became a giant thing,
or the iPad and the Surface and so.
Yeah. So that Sonic animation was me getting used to Flash, and I
was it your first thing made in Flash?
No. I've already I was already pretty used to Flash, but I really wanted to like do something big in Flash. Mm-hmm. So all the assets in there, like the ground, the background, like the backgrounds, the props, all that stuff is handmade. All that stuff I did. And I really wanted to like make a gigantic series out of it where Sonic fights Shadow, Shadow beats Sonic, Tails and Knuckles go looking for Sonic because he just goes fucking missing after his big fight with Shadow, but they end up fighting Robotnik. And then the third one would be Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles versus Super Shadow over the Master Emerald.
Nice.
That would have been my thing, but that would have been my idea. But my convertible laptop died, and Acer was the company that made those laptops, and they no longer, when it died, they no longer serviced them. So everything on that project.
Oh, you didn't have it backed up?
No, I didn't. Well, I did back up, but only backed up so far.
Yeah, I try to back up every 2 weeks or so on my animation and project data.
Yep, that's when I learned I needed to do that too. But even then, by that point, I got a little farther than what you saw on the way anyone saw on that.
But we'll never see
animation. Yeah, you'll unfortunately never see it. And
yeah, but okay, so you love Generations. So you did you play Lost World after that?
I did play Lost World. I actually bought it for the Nintendo Wii.
I got fooled again.
Yeah, fool! They tricked me. You tricked me, Nintendo.
Fool me once, shame on you, Zeka. Fool me twice.
You made it look like it was supposed to be Mario Galaxy, but without the function.
Without everything that made Mario Galaxy one of the best games ever.
Well, it was again, they were trying to do like a big gigantic gimmick. The problem is,
I was so mad that they did such an overhaul after Generations Colors were so good and established this great formula.
Yeah, me too. And I couldn't really get behind like the windy camera angles. Like, where do I go after I
hold the dash, the parkour? None of it felt quite as good.
It never felt organic.
Yep.
And for me, it just never felt fun. And I know that there's people out there who are saying Lost World isn't really that bad, Chris. And you know what?
Watch it. I'm among them. I think I mentioned I reviewed it for a website at the time. I gave it a 6. I'm like, it's disappointing, but it's still not the worst.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. It is not that bad as I'm making it. And I'm just saying from my point of view, where I'm like, I am ready for a legit Sonic game that is actually really good. And this felt like a bit of a step backwards.
Absolutely. And then I gotta ask, did you ever play Boom?
Yes, I did.
Oh God,
I did play Boom.
I think you're the only one out of the 3 of us who played it.
I did not buy Boom, but I did play Boom.
How was that?
Oh, well.
How far did you get? How long did you last?
I didn't get far.
No.
I didn't get very far. I rented Boom. Rented Boom. Good. And I took it back. I played Boom for all of half an hour. And you know what? It wasn't. I didn't really get to the part where you could do the Knuckles glitch. I didn't get to the part where you could actually. I didn't really pay attention to the part where you can actually slow down the cutscenes and see, like, when you're running really fast, that certain elements are kind of bad and unfinished. I never minded that. I wanted to play the game for how it was, and it's slow as fucking molasses
and monotonous.
Yeah, the fighting is. I think the fighting was probably the part of the game I like the best.
But I've heard there's like no depth to it.
There is not that much depth to it, and I'm playing and I'm like, this really is the part of the game I'm having the most fun in. And by most fun, I mean not much. And
what a shining recommendation.
Yeah, and I think I dropped the game when Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Amy get caught by Lyric, and Lyric like traps them or something. No. Sonic attacks Lyric, and Lyric's like, "Nope, you're gonna bust open my ball," and he does. And Sonic's like, "No one has ever seen me go that fast before." And I'm like, Shadow. If you know who Shadow is, and they do, you know that Shadow has gone that fast. And Metal Sonic is here. Fuck you.
They open chasing Metal Sonic.
Fuck this game. It can't even get its lore right. Jesus.
Yeah. We'll get to the actual show though. I think I actually have about different things to say about the show. But you know what? So let's finish up. Go ahead, say your piece on Mania because I know you've been wanting to.
Mania is so fucking good, guys. I'm going to geek out right the fuck now. It is legit my favorite Sonic game at this moment. I've beaten it 3 times. I beat it with Tails, I beat it with Knuckles, and I beat it with Sonic and Tails. I have not beat it with Knuckles and Knuckles. I'm going to do that. I got 100.
Great mode.
Yeah, right. All right. I got 100% on the gold badges or gold medals, coins, whatever the fuck.
Oh, what? You're better at me than Blue Sphere. I suck at it.
I mean, it's just I just have a very awful brain. I don't know why I'm able to do that and
that's not an awful brain. That's a good brain.
I mean, I don't want to say I have a good brain either, because then I just sound like a fucking asshole. But the fact that I spent so much time on this obviously dizzying special stage that gets fast for no fucking reason, only because there's a time limit and not based on the things you do in it, is pretty forgiving, and that's not fair to the critique that should be warranted to Blue Sphere. But before I get to that, I still fucking love Blue Sphere. I played so much of Blue Sphere as a kid that I got like the open. I got most of Sonic 3 and Knuckles Blue Sphere stages. I got that shit memorized. I know how to get like the combos that I'm supposed to get going around the rings and get that shit done. It is the new Blue Sphere stages that I think were part of the Sonic Mega Collection when you cleared everything else that I was not privy to, and that's what really fucked me up. The only reason I got so far was because I had it memorized as a kid, and that shit's ingrained in my memory. But
I know the sound is ingrained in my memory.
Yeah, get out of here! Get out of here! So even besides that, I love the hard boiled heavies. I love them. I love them so fucking much.
It's a fun concept.
And I hope they come back. The sprite animations are so good on Dr. Robotnik. So when you beat Green Hill Zone, and Green Hill Zone is fucking amazing in the second stage. Like you go on the ground.
For the old zones, the idea is that the first death is what you expect, and the second they throw some really new curves at it.
Yeah, they're really good remixes. There's a couple people out there who are like, oh, they just patched the game. They took the old game and put it back. No, they fucking didn't. They built it from scratch. Move on. Do your research. So I love the second act of Green Hill Zone. So after you fall all the way down and after beating the Death Egg, so Robotnik's like yelling at the hard boy heavy. Like, yeah, and my animation brain automatically put a voice in him as he's yelling at him.
Because it's so smooth. It was kind of trippy seeing the old Genesis style sprites moving that good.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved going through every stage again. I like the nostalgia of that.
This really is what a Saturn Sonic game proper would have been. Yeah.
I've already said that I like doing the spinny, seeing Sonic do the twirl when he hits a spring. That's my favorite fucking thing. I honestly beat the game without using drop dash. I honestly forgot how to
do that.
Well, I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I stupidly forgot how to do the drop dash, and then Colin came over and he was like, "Yeah, this is how you do the drop dash."
I didn't figure out how to do it until I talked to Colin on the podcast. So I guess we both have him to thank, because they don't spell it out in the game.
Yeah. This is they honestly did not spell it out very well in the old games either, but you had a manual to go with it. So there you go.
Wait, drop dash was in old games?
Well, I'm talking about spin dash. Yeah. Spin when you had the Invisit Shield in Sonic 3 and spin dashing in Sonic 2. Yeah. Well, they had a couple paragraphs of, this is how Sonic used to do it.
Yeah. Especially because spin dashing wasn't in Sonic 1, so you wouldn't go into 2 thinking it would work like that.
That's right. Yeah. And they actually had to tell you that that's a new thing, even with your weird mutant.
I think they had done some re-releases of one that added the spin dash, though.
My favorite zone in Sonic Mania is the second is Press Garden Zone, and the second act is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, the new zone designs, they're such a gorgeous game. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. It really it's.
And the soundtrack is up to the standard of the classic trilogy too. At least I think so.
Like totally. How and people are harping on. People do harp on the old zones justifiably.
Me and Colin did.
Yeah. But it was a big surprise to me that Oil Ocean Zone showed up, and a part of me was like, "Shit, Oil Ocean Zone." I hated Oil Ocean Zone in Sonic 2, but a part of me was like, "Right, I can do this. This is a challenge. I can fucking do this." And I died a lot, but I
That's actually where I still am. I got my first game over in that level, and I need to go back.
Yeah, I think that's actually where my first game over was too.
Just the Act 2 boss I need to figure out still.
Yeah. By that point, I was like, I can do this. Like, I know that I can die a lot here, and the game does have some pretty unfair deaths. But if you're able to manage your speed, your degree of speed, and where where exactly you're supposed to go, you can easily get through Oil Ocean Zone and still have enough rings to beat the crap out the boss. Now, the boss itself is hard.
Good Sonic levels are always designed with like optimal paths and speedruns in mind.
Yeah.
Like if you practice enough, you can blaze through it.
Yeah, I've never been really much of a speedrunner.
I think Colin might be.
Yeah, I think he's working up to be.
He was telling me like the optimal Sonic level you can finish in 3 minutes if you know what you're doing.
Oh wow!
And that's a problem with games like Lost World and 06. Their levels go on forever.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that they had that in mind for Mania.
Yes.
Like, I think more than anything else, I know the nostalgia's high. I get that, and I get that. Nostalgia is not everything. You also have to have good level design, and I do think that the game does have some good level design.
Yes, no, I agree.
I think that the upgrades in sprite animation and wonderful ideas are pretty fucking obvious. But besides all that, I made it through the game, and what really got me that this game was something fucking special was the opening cinematic. And
did you see that I used the thumbnail when I texted you that link you just lost your shit? I
did lose my shit. Now
it's wonderful.
I had an inkling. I had an inkling that the guys behind Sonic Mania were up to it. Were really up to something. I knew they were going to do some kind of cinematic thing.
Yeah, because everybody loves the Sonic CD intro.
Yeah. What I did not know was Tyson Hesse was behind it, and when
he directed it with some help from Studio Yada.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the thing about Mania that makes me that gets me to sing all of its wonderful praises is that this is a game that was made with love and goddamn respect
by the fans for the fans.
It's not even that. That is a giant thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting that. But I also say respect in that it doesn't have to rely on gimmicks to sell. Like, it knows that it has to have these good fundamental things
to stick to them.
Yeah, it has to meet these quotas and go beyond those quotas. It has to have good level design. It has to have characters that you actually give a crap about. So not really a lot of gamma, beta, whatever those robots are,
or big
the cat. Silver the Hedgehog. I like Silver the Hedgehog's theme.
I like Silver in general. I think.
I think he's.
For him.
I think he's better tailored for the comic. And there are some pretty kick-ass Sonic characters, Sonic side characters. I love Blaze the Cat. I think there should be more Blaze the Cat.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's wildly different from the rest of the cast that has to emote everything gigantic.
Yeah, she's the most cold character of all those the good guys.
Definitely. And Shadow the Hedgehog, who I think is not good.
I started out liking him, but we saw what they did to him as the time went on. And now they barely use him, and I'm happy with that.
When I say respect, I mean that it's built by a team who obviously proved themselves time and time again. You've got the guy, you got Christian Whitehead, who's done a bunch of Sonic games in the past. You got Pagoda West, who was all about doing Sonic homages for beforehand. Even their Major Magnet series, Major Magnet was basically it was basically kind of like a point and click adventure. Where you take this character and you have them zip along through loops, gaining power, gaining bonuses as you go along. But the way he moved and the way he animated felt like a Sonic game, especially when he did the little twirl. And that I was like, that's Sonic right there.
Looks interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was difficult as fuck, but it was pretty cool too. I say all that because these guys knew what they were doing.
Yep.
So it wasn't just, we got to pump out a Sonic game before Christmas and we announced it 2 months ago. I'm like, these guys, don't do this, Sega.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Though, okay, it's not without little gimmicks. I think the biggest one is the chemical plant boss, which is a huge Easter egg.
I actually did not spot that Easter egg. What is the
the Robotnik fight at the end of Chemical Plant when it turns into Mean Bean Machine.
Right. Mean Bean Machine was great. Oh, sorry. You meant that as an insult.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
Colin wasn't fond of it, even though my only problem with it was if you don't know what Puyo Puyo is, you might have to. It would take you a few tries to know what you were supposed to do.
Well, when I bought Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube, I think it was on a GameCube. When I bought it had Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and I didn't know what Puyo Puyo was.
No,
but I played Mean Bean Machine, and I actually kind of liked it. And that's why when I saw it in Chemical Plant Zone, I was like, "Holy fuck, Mean Bean Machine!" And I'm yelling and I'm yelling at Serena like, "Sweetie, it's Mean Bean Machine," and she's like, "Yeah, I
was kind of hoping that for comedic effect she'd be like, "Yeah, okay," I should not have the same reaction. But but actually, I also bring up Mean Bean Machine because I think it might be a good segue into the real meat of our episode. Because we've already taken up 54 minutes of
we sure did. But before we do, can I at least address the criticisms about Sonic Mania?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so a lot of people have a lot of qualms with Sonic Mania, and if I remember correctly, Colin definitely has a lot of qualms with Sonic.
He really does, yes. Even though he loves it. He mainly focused on his criticisms when we talked about it.
Yeah, and I love the game too. And keep in mind that this is a game by people who know what they're doing and love what they're doing, and I loved what they put out.
Yeah.
So I say all this with a great modicum of respect. But at this point, when I'm playing through Sonic Mania, there are a number of glitches that come through, and glitches happen. That's a thing. But seeing some of the old zones now and again felt a little old. So I was like, I would like to see something new. And more often than not, I did see something new in these old zones. That was fantastic.
Like I said, Act 2 would mix things up, and Act 1 would be pure throwback.
Definitely. And I think that my biggest criticisms were in the fact that there were so many old zones that were kind of remixed, and then you had a few newer zones that felt fresh and new and
they
really
were
exciting.
Amazing. Yeah. Every time I got to a new zone, I was like, "Fuck yes, this is awesome."
Yeah, and as a veteran Sonic fan, like I appreciate and love all of this. And after I'm finished, I beat the game 3 times,
right?
And then I put the Switch down, and then I'm like, okay, and that was that.
Did you get the true ending and all the?
I did get the true ending, and I beat. Spoilers: I did beat the 2 bosses, and I had a great time. I died twice, and then I beat it, and I was like, cool. And then I put the game down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's considering both the critical and commercial success, they're probably going to get to do a sequel, and maybe they'll get some money to do all new zones. That's my main hope if they make another game.
And I think that the guys behind Sonic Mania are forward thinking enough to know where these criticisms are.
I feel like that is the most common criticism of the game.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you guys made a few enemies, or you might have made a few enemies, and addressing these criticisms.
I'm kind of saying in jest, but
okay, but even so,
because I want to say for the record, both me and Colin do really like the game.
Yeah, and I think that from our standpoint, who are veteran Sonic players, who Colin himself is a professor in animation.
I thought you were going to say he was a professor in Sonic.
He's a professor.
He might as well be.
He went to Sonic College, so that his name he is known as Professor Colin the Hedgehog.
Generation Animation reviewed they did an episode of once. Look up their Future Card Buddy Fight episode. They reviewed like the most derivative, card anime kids show. Mm-hmm. It's a world where they go to school to study how to play the card game.
Oh God. Okay.
It's really funny. Anyway.
That sounds great. That sounds like something I will do.
Felipe loves the show.
I bet. But no. When I address these criticisms, and really the more like nitpicks than anything, because we all knew the old zones were coming back, it definitely feels like that these are the guys getting their feet wet with the Sonic franchise, and goddamn, like they were giving official permission to go wild. And they definitely did. And they did it well. That's a thing that you should not say about a game with such high accolades. And I love the fact that this game is great. But when I say that when people say that this is a Sonic game done well, that honestly should not hold so much weight in the game industry as it does right now for such a 25-year-old series who's had like a number of spin-offs and a number of crossovers to other media that a whole bunch of these games. What about what?
That we're about to talk about some of them.
Yes, we are. It's kind of a shame that Sonic had to go through so much to find himself. And it does also say a lot that it took the people who are actually fans of the series to say, this is how you do it.
But it makes sense. It makes sense.
It does make.
You've always gotten the feeling that Sega's just kind of out of touch.
Yeah,
with what people want with it. Though I will say, I'm sure I'll be revisiting in the future, but I am excited for Forces from what I've seen lately.
I'm actually pretty happy with how Forces is looking. I think
it's possible I won't like the Avatar levels, but I know I like the modern and classic template, and the footage I've seen looks like it'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way. But to finish up my thought, when I bring up these criticisms about that's not so much as an insult or so much as me being impatient, like I want some new levels right now.
Of course not.
That's me saying that
you just said it's one of your favorite games ever now. So
it's number 6 on my top 10.
Okay,
I say that like these guys, the entire crew, were able to take this to take all the fundamentals of what we know of Sonic and give them back to us, give them back to the community, and say, this is what not only we can do, this is something that you could do when you're up to snuff, when you have the chops to do it. And if I was a kid playing this game and I knew about the history of Sonic the Hedgehog, that would open up my world so much. I'm probably looking way too deep into this.
Well, I wonder what this is like for younger Sonic gamers who never really experienced the older ones.
Oh, I actually played this with my younger cousins, and they're like 4 or 5. They're in 4, 5, 6, 7.
What do they think?
They love this game.
Okay.
They knew who Dr. Eggman was. I actually played it with. All right, so my dad and my 4 cousins who are really young, and me. Your
dad, who was really young.
My dad is not.
He's like 5.
Well, my dad bought these games, obviously, and we would have good father-son time playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, nice.
So he comes in, he starts playing this game. He's like, it's just like the old games, and the kids are like bouncing up and down. They're like having fucking fun. They're like, ow. Wait, that's Dr. Eggman. And Dad is like, actually, that is Dr. Robotnik.
Nobody calls me that anymore.
No one. Oh, for sure. I'm like, yeah, Dad, you're right. But actually, his name is actually Dr. Eggman in Japan. So we just have like a big man. We have a big mansplaining moment.
I honestly am kind of envious what you're saying right now because my parents have just never, even as a kid, like other than playing a little bit of Mario World and Mario Kart, they can't get into it.
Aww.
The last time I did was obviously Wii Sports. I remember the last memory of them really playing something was Wii Sports Resort. They did the fencing mini games to each other, and my mom was cackling like a loon. Awesome. It was funny.
That's awesome. Like, there is so much energy that you can just obviously take a hold of if you just watch a family play a really good game.
Not like a game.
Not like a game where you're Sonic the Hedgehog with a surfboard. Now you're Sonic the Hedgehog Wolf. No, you're Sonic the Hedgehog playing competently built levels.
Yep. But I think we should finish up this part so I can render what we have and we can move on to the... I would say... It's funny that I'm calling this the real media episode because we've already hit the hour mark. But I am glad we really got to get your thoughts across on all the games.
Yeah. Had a good time.
Yeah.
Go buy Mania.
Yes, and on the subject of Mean Bean Machine, I'm going to cut it off right now. There's a cliffhanger. You'll have to see what the segue is.
On the run, eating chili dogs by the time. No matter how frantic the chase becomes, there's always time to have some fun.
Okay, so that segue I was talking about with Mean Bean Machine actually ties into. So we're going to mainly talk about Sonic. I think it may hold the record for number of individual animated adaptations of a game.
It's pretty big, yeah.
Even Mario only got, I guess...
He got like 2.
Well, no, he got the 3D cartoons, one based on one, then 3, then World. There were like 2 exclusive animes in Japan. So I guess he might be tied with... I forgot. Might beat him.
I forgot about
I'm going to count my fingers. Adventures, SatAM, Underground, OVA, X Boom. Okay, no, Sonic still wins by at least 1.
Yeah.
So I think Sonic might... There's a lot of different...
What? I forgot about the Mario animes.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Street Fighter cartoons too. Now that I think about it,
yeah, they are.
But anyway, so Sonic for younger viewers who weren't around for it, and like when he first appeared when he first rose to prominence in the early ¡90s, he was a phenomenon. He was the next Mario. He was the challenger to that throne.
He didn't win, but
he almost did. I've been reading. By the way, I recommend this great book called Console Wars, which is solely focusing on the actual executives who were responsible for the Sega's rise to power, how Nintendo was riding that high at the time, then almost came crashing down, and why it started to burn out, like just all the executive disagreements that led to Sega losing its prominence. But because Sonic had become such an icon, naturally, with any kid sensation like that, we're like, that's like, well, we got to make cartoons of it. And here's the thing: this is like maybe the only time this has happened where they didn't just do one Sonic cartoon when they kicked off this initiative, because we're going in chronological order. They had 2 shows air at the same time, one on Saturday mornings and one in weekday syndication that were completely different from each other in so many ways.
You had a fun one. You had a fun dark one, which was arguably the best one.
It is better. We'll get to it. But the thing is, I only found out recently, like, people have said, why were there 2 at the same time? Was there some weird coincidence? But it was the same company. It was Deke, who did a lot of iconic and or crappy shows. I think like they're probably best known for stuff like Captain Planet and Inspector Gadget. Like they had their heyday in the 80s and 90s.
They distributed a lot of shows.
Yes, I think anybody from our generation has that logo ingrained. Deke. No joke. When they reviewed Captain Planet on Generation Animation, Dave said he heard it as Dick.
Yeah.
I didn't, but whatever. So actually, the only reason they did it is because the Sega executives were like, well, Mario has 1 cartoon at a time. If Sonic has 2, then they tops that.
Then obviously it would be better.
Well, I mean, they were both pretty successill. The Saturday one got canceled, but okay. But first, let's talk about the weekday one, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Where do I start with this thing?
Where do we start with this thing?
I remember as a kid, I was not super into either show. I would actually just kind of catch them if they were on and watch an episode, but it wasn't like the stuff we talked about. It wasn't like how I had my weekday tradition became, all right, back-to-back Animaniacs and Power Rangers. Can't miss either of those. And there weren't many other shows like that. But it was more, they were like mid-tier shows for my childhood self. So Adventures ran for a long... Actually, no, I think I read they made every episode at once, like 60 in total, so they could just keep rerunning them for a while. And it makes sense they were able to crank out 60 in such a short span, because I watched the first episode. This is one of the ugliest looking TV cartoons I have ever seen. Holy shit.
I have many stories about Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Just no effort in those visuals.
Well, I'm going to really hurt my street credit on this, but I am actually okay with the animation of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I guess maybe for me, it's especially the backgrounds. They have these ugly paint speckled things. They're so sparse.
It's got this weird, I don't want to say Ren and Stimpy, but it's got this weird kind of old
minimalist
1920s kind of thing going on with the character designs too.
And the backgrounds. I just don't know what they were going for.
I don't either. But I mean, I heard in some interviews that they were trying to design Dr. Robotnik as the sexiest man alive, or something. I don't know.
What?
It's weird. I have to go back and reread.
Do you remember what Robotnik looked like in this show?
I do remember what.
I'm sure maybe someone.
I wish that the word sexy was not in that, but I do remember that they would draw Dr. Robotnik's butt very pronounced.
Well, that was because Sonic's nickname for him in both these shows was Robotnik.
It was Robotnik, and you know what? That stuck, but there were times when he would have a very plump tookish, and they would kind of cross-dress Robotnik too.
Okay, please tell me you're about to talk about finding him attractive, because you would.
Okay, I'm not.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying that there are some interviews out there of how they designed Robotnik specifically. But when I say that I actually kind of like the animation, there was a specific studio that would animate Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was called Tokyo Movie Shinsha.
TMS. Yes, they were kind of awesome with TV cartoons in the 90s, because they also worked on a lot of that golden age of WB shows, Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, Batman, and
they worked on Gargoyles.
Almost all the time, their episodes looked the best.
They worked on Gargoyles for a long time.
They solely did that movie Little Nemo, which I'm not a fan of the story, but its visuals are wonderful.
Visually, Little Nemo is fucking amazing. Best 2D things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they did some pretty nice looking episodes of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, I kind of appreciate that the fact that the character designs are just so loose means they can just put them in whatever crazy expression they want.
Yeah,
but it's still like you look at the designs of characters who pop in a couple shots from one episode, and it's just no effort.
Well, I'm not saying that they did like 40 episodes of
like 60.
They did like I'm saying
TMS.
Tokyo Movie Shinsha did like I'm not sure how many episodes they did, but it was like a handful. And I remember them doing like the very last arc of.
There was an arc?
Yeah, they had a Chaos Emerald arc.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. Okay.
Yeah, they actually went back in time, and Sonic met all of his previous selves. Tails and Robotnik met all of his previous selves.
Oh boy.
But Robotnik...
It's the original Sonic Generations.
Pretty much. But Robotnik basically stole all the Chaos Emeralds and like became essentially a giant god man. So Sonic had to team up with all 4 Sonics, and Tails had to team up with all 4 Tails, and they went against Dr. Robotnik in the final episodes. It was... Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is a very fucking
So it had an actual
show.
Finale?
It had an actual finale.
That's nuts. Because actually, I also want to talk about both this and the other Sonic show that I do consider to be the worst.
Yeah,
they actually have proper intro set of episodes. Because, like I said, the first episode of this that I watched is so at its core, I feel like the show is kind of just a Looney Tunes ripoff because
Sonic
so
the
much
Hedgehog
of it
is essentially Bugs Bunny.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie.
or the Roadrunner, but he can talk. But Scratch and Grounder or no Wile E. Coyote.
I'm not gonna lie. I did find a little enjoyment out the show. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to go on.
It is not devoid of it.
I'm not going to say that I go on Netflix every day and I watch this show because I don't. That show existed.
Well, it's on YouTube also. That's where I saw it.
Yes, it is. That show existed at a time when if you were into Sonic the Hedgehog, you forgave it. You forgave it shit.
I think what frustrates me, it's the same thing that frustrates me because Deke also made the Mario cartoons we talked about in the past. Those were terrible, and the first one, like they just had jack shit to do with the games other than the title characters being there. I know they had so little to go off of, but still.
Well, I did appreciate Scratch and Grounder. I mean, there are times when Scratch and Grounder were on screen, and they legit chewed up screen time. Like they had moments. Giant back and forths, and Coconuts the monkey came around for some reason.
All these are in the first episode's pacing is so weird because it's like first Sonic sneaks into a bounty hunter conference that Robotnik is throwing to full the exposition. Like I hate this hedgehog, I want him dead, and then he's trying to get the Scratch and Grounder trying to capture him, and then he's like, hey, remember how you were made in your first time trying to capture me? And while that's going on, all of a sudden you see like Coconuts coming out of a closet.
But he's like,
I remember when I was Robotnik's then it cuts to him trying to stop Sonic, and it's just all over the damn place.
And you know what? I kind of appreciated that weird kind of approach to Sonic's narrative. I mean, of course,
the show itself, the visuals are weird. Like when they're doing the creation of Scratch and Grounder, for no reason, when Robotnik is screaming, he turns into a steam pipe. Like just weird stuff. And in the same episode, like this is this was kind of made famous when Nostalgia reviewed this show. Grounder's idea to distract Sonic, he blows into one finger and his other hand just in one frame turns into a pumpkin.
A pumpkin? pumpkin.
Yes, look this up. He throws the pumpkin on Sonic's head, and then like 2 minutes later, they hide behind a rock, and Scratch inflates his hand into like a sexy hedgehog to lure Sonic over. This is a weird show.
It is a very weird show, but again, I found some enjoyment out of it, and I actually appreciated it at the time as a kid.
I could still see like little kids today maybe appreciating it because it's so ADD.
It's very all over the place. It's a wild fucking show.
Yeah,
and I think that wildness, that's something that I actually rather liked. There were some episodes where things did not fly. Sonic's robot girlfriend,
Breezy,
did not fly with me. I was like, this is strange to me.
If you Google this show, so many results are about Breezy because the Sonic fandom latched on to this old buxom female character. Surprise, surprise.
Breezy was a thing. It didn't help that she was a robot either.
Yes,
like she was like some weird Jessica Rabbit.
Yes, and then she developed actual feelings for Sonic. He was like, I won't help you kill him, Robotnik.
I won't help you kill him, Sonic.
Even crazier, she became a character in the Archie comics later.
Oh, God.
I think Scratch and Grounder did as well. Like, they started incorporating dead Sonic continuities into it.
Oh, God.
And actually, I do want to talk about, if we're talking about the other characters, I have some interesting things about the voice acting for the show. Let's get the big one out of the way.
Jaleel White. Steve Urkel.
Steve motherfucking Urkel voicing Sonic.
Motherfucking Urkel. I love Jaleel White, unironically.
You know what? I think for this kind of show, he fits Sonic. And also, somebody pointed out another podcast. It was you could kind of view it as bold as getting the biggest nerd on TV to voice the coolest character at the time.
Well, at the time,
we know he was capable of it with like Stefan or Kel. Like,
wasn't Deke like an affiliate of Disney at the time?
I have no idea.
Well,
but no, Disney didn't own ABC yet.
Okay, well, Disney didn't own ABC at the time, but
no.
Okay, I'll probably have to look on Wikipedia for.
I mean, Family Matters was popular with kids, and maybe they saw other voices that Jaleel White could do, and was like, obviously, just the Urkel voice wouldn't work on Sonic, but if you kind of modify it, like make a cool version of it, that's still not your real voice.
There had to be some executive involved within Deke.
Oh yeah, the kids like the Urkels and the hopscotches.
Someone made a decision. Someone made a high priority decision. Was like, who's cool these days? Urkel. Get him into that Sonic.
Yeah, again, for this kind of show, I think he actually is a pretty good Sonic.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the other voice, okay, the kid playing Tails is pretty shit, but Tails is so insignificant in this show, which is kind of a shame because I like him. I do really like Robotnik's voice.
Oh, Dr. Robotnik and Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's kind of weird.
Blasted
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
I want to. Whenever someone asks me who my favorite Sonic character is, as a kid, I would just say it's Sonic. No, it's Tails. No, it's Knuckles.
I don't
know. It's so many to choose. Bunny Rabbit.
Bunny Rabbit. We'll get to it.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. My favorite character has to be Dr. Eggman or Robotnik. There are so many really fun and entertaining ways to do Robotnik / Eggman.
They're continuing to do good versions of him.
And I do see a lot of people hating on Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and for good reason.
I'm one of them. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, and I'm not. You don't have to apologize. There are some shit things in this show, but there are some really fun performances. This show may not execute well a lot of things. No. But there's a lot of wild creativity there.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I do want to bring up Scratch has one of the most annoying laughs I have ever heard. Every time he has a victory, he does. I'm gonna brace yourself.
That was a weird, shrill,
kind of a similar shriek. His default voice can be annoying a lot of the time too. But okay, I want to blow your mind. Maybe. Do you know who voiced Grounder?
Hit me.
That is Optimus Primal. Yes, I blew his mind. That's Optimus Primal? That is Optimus Primal from Beast Wars and Beast Machines. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Wow!
Because I had never heard of Scratch's actors. I don't bother. But it's a dude named Gary Chalk. He pops up in various Canadian cartoons. And actually, when we get to it, he played Robotnik in Sonic Underground.
Sweet not jumping such a good Jesus, really?
Isn't that weird?
That is
to go from this very stern, very smart leader to, oh, where the hedgehog go?
Now you listen here, Scratch. I'm not the brains of the outfit.
What? It's nasty ideas like this that make Dr. Robotnik love me best. Well, that's just prime.
But hey, wait a minute.
I will give one. Let me talk about. There is one good line I remember Scratch giving to Grounder, which is, "He made me persistent. He made you too dumb to quit."
God damn.
That's kind of witty. I'll give him that.
Yeah, there were some back and forths that I did kind of enjoy.
Yes, but as a whole, I do not think the show works. But it holds a lot of nostalgia for people, including me to some degree. So I will not fault anyone for liking it.
I honestly liked it better than one other show that is within the Sonic community.
Is it the next one or the one after?
It's the one after.
Actually, no, I don't think it's the one after, because the one actually in between those shows is the first Japanese one, which we'll get to.
Then you know the one I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Okay, but do you want to move on to show number 2?
Yeah, let's move on to number 2.
SatAM.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Before we do.
What?
So this show gets a lot of hate, so much so that, and I'm not trying to defend it, but there is a time when on Facebook, you might be able to find it, you might not. I actually got into a kind of discussion with someone from Sonic X. I forget his name. Honestly, I didn't.
Someone from Sonic X?
Someone who helped produce Sonic X. Someone. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about the anime show itself. Someone who helped bring over. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm on a group or whatever, and I'm talking to one of my friends, and I'm like, "Yeah, Sonic X was not good," and it got his attention, and he was like, "Excuse me, but this wasn't that bad." And I'm like, "Well, okay, that's fine." And then he posted a link of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and
this was bad.
And I don't remember what I said, but I remember thinking that doesn't really faze me. It really doesn't.
Okay, so it's not the same as Freakazoid making fun of Sinbad.
No, okay. It's not. I honestly, okay. When someone comes in and they're like, this early 2000s anime is better than your early 90s anime, early 90s cartoon, I don't want to say they're full of shit, because, no two shows are kind of alike. But I feel like there was a bit more creativity in Adventures of Sonic versus Sonic. Only because Sonic X was the anime that came on 4Kids.
Yes. We'll get to it.
And he felt a certain way about this, and I don't know what you're going to do without your feelings, dude, but I do not agree. And that's just my subjective opinion. Only because I legit had human reactions out of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay. There were more. I had more. What are they doing here? As I grew, and as a kid, they're funny, and this is kind of cool. There was some legit fluid animation in it too. At points. When I get to Sonic X, bored as shit.
Okay, well we should keep going in order. So you ready to move to Sonic SatAM?
Let's go to SatAM.
I think this was also called. I think it was just called Sonic the Hedgehog. This is one of the craziest cult followings for a short-lived Saturday morning cartoon, but you can kind of understand why watching it.
This show was. Whenever someone brings up this show, they're like, "It is surprisingly dark," and they're right. This show is surprisingly dark.
They are. It is kind of funny what polar opposites these two shows were in tone and overall approach.
Yeah. The only thing that killed it was its time slot.
Yeah.
Whose big idea was to put it against Power Rangers?
I guess I'm partially to blame then, because I watch Power Rangers all the time.
Oh, don't worry. So am I.
That's true. But so I have rewatched some of this, and I might make some enemies here too. I feel like it has so many good ideas, but its actual execution, it's hard to put into words, but I feel like the way this show is directed and timed and such, it felt consistently off to me, despite having good foundations. And I don't know how you would feel with that, because I don't know. Have you watched it recently?
Yes, I have.
What do you think?
I don't think we can be friends anymore, John.
I don't dislike it. I guess, okay.
I am fucking with you. It is okay. We're good.
No, let me just pull up my notes about it.
I actually do agree with you. There were as a kid. Okay, let me go back a little bit because SatAM, Sonic the Hedgehog. Let me tell you straight up, there were not many shows that came on at that point for cartoons that legit had the world already taken over.
That's the cool idea about it. This is a revolution.
Yeah,
this is a resistance.
It is about
it's the original Sonic Forces.
Yeah, it is about a band of characters who are kind of interesting, actually. Some of them are kind of interesting. A lot of people hate Antoine, the French guy who's really cowardly.
I love Rob Paulson, but that character is just there to.
I got to be honest. I'm the freak. I'm the one who actually favors Antoine out of anybody else. But I'll get to that in a second.
Well, actually, when we're talking about characters, I just want to go through. So, yeah, this is another one that came up with, other than Sonic, Tails, and Robotnik, a completely original cast, but much more in the way of recurring characters than adventures. Yeah. And they did a pretty good job overall. First, I do want to praise the existence of Princess Sally. Because I remember running into art school, some girl who was drawing like fan art of her. I don't think it was because, I will just say straight up, like, I do think, from what I'm aware of, Sally is like a furry idol, pretty much.
She is.
Like most Sonic females are, but her and like maybe Rouge above all others.
Well, you will notice that in a few episodes, she is practically naked. And
they gave her a jacket later.
And then they gave her a sweet blue jacket, but you can still see the impressions of boob there.
Whoops, couldn't have done that. But no,
I'm 9 years old, and I'm like, I don't understand why I find this character so attractive.
I like the idea that she is basically the responsible leader of this group, not Sonic.
She is. She really is. And she's the one that's
take charge, be responsible, and be badass.
And she's the one that's like, Sonic, get your shit together. And Sonic's like, I want to be Sonic though. And she's like, yeah. And it's like watching watching a couple that's already been through the motions of dating, and the girl's like, "Yep."
Maybe for all we know, they have.
I know you're funny.
The show does end with them finally kissing, so.
Yeah, I mean, they get kind of close.
No, the finale. I watched parts of it. They start kissing at the end.
Oh, cute! I actually did not see the finale.
The finale is both kind of a wrap up and kind of a cliffhanger because they defeat Robotnik and he flees, but then you find out Snively, his little wormy sodie, has. They set it up that he and another guy are going to be the new villains for the next season.
And that's when they teased Knuckles, right?
No. That's what people thought. It was a wizard made up for the show called Ixis Naugus, who was also brought into the comics later. The writers of the show come out and said the third season would have been about that, and then the fourth season would have brought in Knuckles as an ally. But they never got a chance.
Okay, I think I do remember this wizard guy. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to derail.
But so I do like Sally. I'm trying to think about the other cast.
Well, next to Antoine, Bunny Rabbit was my second favorite
name. No, I do like her.
It's a funny, silly name, but holy fuck, did I love Bunny? Like, holy shit, she was.
The AdSense. She's kind of a fun character. Without being too over the top.
You can have so much fun with this character, and I'm glad the comics like they knew what they had. Like, even with all
I think in the comics she hooked up with Antoine.
She did. Like, Antoine got his shit together.
Yes, Antoine is so much better in the comics because he mans up eventually. But I also do want to mention, because we're talking about all these characters, this cast is like a all-star 90s cartoon actors.
Definitely.
Kath Soucie, like Phil and Lil, and a billion other things is Sally. Christine Cavanaugh, Chucky, Dexter, and some others. She's Bunny. Rob Paulson, Yakko, Pinky, a billion other things is Antoine. There's Rotor, the walrus mechanic. That is some guy I never heard of. Charlie Adler is Snively, Cow and Chicken.
Charlie Adler is Snively.
He's totally. You can hear Cow.
Yeah,
it just
I love
over the top.
Charlie Adler is one of my favorite voice actors. He's a funny
guy. I'm actually not a fan of Cow and Chicken, but I'm a fan of him as a voice actor.
Like, he was Cow and Chicken
and Red Guy.
I think he was the Red Guy. He was the Red Guy.
He was.
He was also Buster Bunny from Tiny Toons.
Yes, he was. And many other things if you look. My favorite. He was the Big Heads on Rocko's Modern Life.
He was the Big Heads.
Both. Oh, hello, Rocko. Hello, Ed.
Oh, Ed, leave Rocco alone.
I cannot wait for that new TV movie they're doing. It's all coming back. But okay, no, I want to talk about the big one. Jim Cummings as Robotnik. Holy shit!
Holy shit! He is holy fuck! He is a scary character.
This is awesome.
Robotnik is the most.
Yes.
Oh my god!
I know this means you don't really get the comical stuff I'm getting today, but like he's legit intimidating.
You lied to me, Snively.
Lied, sir?
You said that the Shriekbot could outrun the Hedgehog.
It can, sir. We just have to install more thrust boosters.
Snively, what color is my heart?
I don't see art, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And just that performance, it's kind of like what we talked about with Megatron and Beast Wars. Like, he is so savoring the horrible things he's doing and the intimidation and toying with these guys.
Yeah, like
And
he has
like glowing red eyes. And,
he has like black irises and like one metal arm. Like you get the sense that something happened.
There's kind of an echoey effect to his voice at times.
Yeah.
And he's just so quiet. Like, well.
Oh, the hedgehog is coming, Snively.
Oh, it's very good.
That's very good, Snively. I'm doing a very bad Dr. Robotnik, but
no, I do want to bring up I remember the first time I met Serena, she talked about she cannot enjoy Jim Cummings anymore because she was so overexposed to him as a child.
I think she is cringing so hard as we are doing terrible Jim Cummings.
I'm sorry,
impression.
Serena. He's awesome in this.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. And she's staring at me.
That was kind of me with Kath Sushi to a degree too. Though I do. She is good as Sally in this. But yeah, and actually, I do want to come back to Jaleel White because my least favorite character might be Sonic.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dick in this one, and I get that characters can be dicks. Don't get me wrong.
They're pushing the attitude too hard here. It doesn't really suit this world and plot and tone compared to Adventures.
There's one thing about being a likable dick, but there's also a thing about being a relatable dick. And I know I have phrased that in the most wrong way, but when it comes to character development and watching a character progress through a show, if they're continuously a dick and not learning things,
okay, since I haven't watched all of it, does Sonic grow throughout it?
Not really. It's like an episode per episode basis. Maybe I should listen to my. Well, that's.
There's
sorry.
Just so much of him not doing what they want him to. Like, Sonic, we do this. No way, Jeeves, or whatever.
I don't want to do that.
Got a juice.
I'm gonna go eat chili dogs. And Sally's like,
even as a kid, I thought "Got a Juice" was just dumb.
I love "Got a Juice." Fuck you! How dare you, dude?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Nothing against Jaleel White.
That came from a dark place. Sorry, John.
Your dark place is making fun of "Got a Juice." What does that say about you as a person?
I don't know.
But other things I just want to bring up. So just going back to, like I said, it has some decent hardcore, but I can't help but feel that with the actual production, Deke might have bitten off more they could chew. The animation is very inconsistent, and just the timing tends to feel off. I can best sum it up in one episode where, like, Sonic is doing he's about to rev away to a place. For no reason, he trips and falls over just where he is for a second. Then he gets up and runs away. There's no reason for it. It doesn't add anything, but, like, that sums up just how off the show can feel at times. And it's a bummer because there's a lot of other good stuff to it.
There are times when the show has a great idea of where it's going.
Yes.
There are times when the back and forth between Sally and Sonic is really good.
Yeah, at times.
But Sonic going off doing his own thing, and then the end all catch all is I'm Sonic though, so fuck off. The
first episode, he stops in the middle of like a spying mission to admire himself in a mirror.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. It really is though. And as a kid, I'm like, he's giving shit to Sally, and he's like, I can't help. He says something to the phrase of I can't help it if I'm so beautiful, or some shit like that.
Any other show, he would be like the bully jock type, like the Gaston or something. But it's the main character.
The tone of the show doesn't lean.
Doesn't suit this constant character.
Well, it doesn't lean itself for that situation to happen.
At least the Adventures one didn't act all vain and dickish to people in need.
Well, there are times when I'm just like, Sonic, she's your princess. You have to do what she says, Sonic. What's wrong with you?
You clearly want to get in her non-existent pants. Or jacket, I don't know.
He's like, but Sally, what are you going to do? You know you love me. I'm like, and honestly, I would have been okay if she didn't. Honestly, I would have been, if this show would have ended and Princess Sally, like they did in the comics, would have been like, Sonic, I can't be your girlfriend and be a princess. I am sorry, but my shit has to come first. My people have to come first. Yeah. If they did that during the show, I would have lost it. I would have dropped Power Rangers like a bag of sand and would have been like, "This is my show. This is my show forever."
But then it got canceled.
Yeah, it got canceled. Again with some more good things about it. The fucking tone of the show. I mean,
it's so somber.
Well, there are times when, like you noted, Sonic's being a dick and he should not be a dick. Stop being a dick, Sonic. But there are times when the show is actually being very genuine or actually being very dark. The cusp of the show is that Dr. Robotnik has taken over the world. Every animal has, just about every animal has become a robot.
Roboticized.
Roboticized. And
in the first episode, they go off with like some cat who gets roboticized, so he's basically killed off.
They show the stakes of the show, and it's
dire.
As a kid, it's pretty horrifying.
Well, I mean, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, well, I was like, holy shit. Jesus, I'm watching this show. The entire, like, most of the planet's been like industrialized and it's now polluted. You see the difference, like of like the lush green forests of
Knothole Village,
where the freedom, Knothole Village, where all the freedom fighters are at.
Because the basis of the show came from the Archie comics, which is they had that same cast and premise, but they started out like the comics started out like adventures and over time morphed more to be like this.
It really did.
Interesting.
It really did, and then there are times when it doesn't mean to be this funny, and it gets really annoying. But there was a couple of times when Antoine had his own episodes. Now, I'm not talking about the episodes where it's all about the Knothole Village and Rotor builds like a Frankenstein or whatever the fuck. And
I don't even know that one.
Yeah, that was bad. There are a couple of one-off episodes, split episodes that ranged 11 minutes and another one for 11 minutes. And they don't really last too long, and they're pretty forgettable. I actually kind of forgot about them. But there was an episode where Sonic and Antoine go on a mission on their own, and Antoine gets captured by Snively. And Snively is trying to interrogate Antoine. Whew. You might be able to, one would call this episode very annoying.
Yeah.
And very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Watching it recently, I found it funny as fuck. I'm sorry.
Are you going to talk?
Yes, no. Oh, I cannot be disappointing to my princess. No! I will never talk!
Then I must make escargot!
But escargot are too special, you fiend! They must be prepared just right, you maniac!
But when Snively, like, I forget what he did exactly, but did it involve escargot?
Yeah.
And did he not prepare it correctly? If this show, if I haven't made it clear already, Antoine is a very stuck-up, snooty-nosed Frenchman.
Also, what does it say that the only French character is all about being a coward and wanting to flee and give up?
Coward.
Like, come on.
Yeah, it's not the best representation of French.
No.
It's pretty stupid. That was a bad move, guys. That was a bad move. I mean, and Antoine's my favorite character. And I say that because he plays such a good contrast with Sonic. When I think of Sonic and Antoine,
That's true.
I kind of think of Will Smith playing Will with Carlton and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
French Carlton.
Somebody
draw Antoine doing the dance.
That would be amazing.
It's not unusual.
I'm not saying that Carlton's a coward, but there is a dynamic where you have your cool character and you have your obviously not cool character.
Yeah, he's naive.
And there's a point where Snively is like cooks escargot and it's not prepared correctly, and Antoine's like, I give up. I'll talk. I'll tell everything. And
that's pretty funny. That is pretty funny.
That shit legit made me laugh. I'm sorry. He was willing to give up everything.
I think we should move on to the next show. But one other element of praise I want to do this show. The background music is really good. The main motif, that like heroic theme, dun da 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 da. I didn't remember that when I first rewatched. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, like when Sonic is about to peel off and just go jetting down the hallway.
Up like the triumphant parts, and there's some good like atmospheric stuff too. Like I said, the stuff I'm talking about with some bad timing direction made me think deep bit more than they can chew. But at the same time, I think it also shows that they were willing to put extra effort into this. Partially considering that they would do one 13 episode season at a time compared to with Adventures, they just did 65 all in one batch and called it a day.
Yeah, I think that I hate to use this cliche, but this show, when it's on, it's pretty on. Mm-hmm. When it's off, it's pretty off.
It is a real mixed bag of a show, but I do understand why it has a following.
Yeah,
there still is very little like it in children's cartoons.
Yeah, like the only other series that I can actually compare to it might be Pirates of Dark Water.
I was meant to watch that show.
Yeah, maybe Batman the Animated Series. And probably Gargoyles.
Okay, and I have not seen Gargoyles, so I can't speak. Batman is kind of different.
Well, I'm saying different in terms of quality. It's different in terms of quality because Batman was a pretty solid show.
It was kind of a milestone too.
But I say it's kind of similar because of the tone that it struck. The tone that it struck where. There were times when it didn't. There were times when this show, if it wanted to be taken seriously, then you should take it seriously. When a character is, I don't know, like Bunny Rabbit, is trying to get her original parts back. Bunny Rabbit is essentially a cyborg.
She was saved in mid-robotization, so like only her head and like left arm are still organic.
Yeah. So when Princess Sally is trying to figure out a way to help her best friend and to bring her back to normal, and they almost did. They developed a device that could unroboticize its victims, and when it fails in mid-robotization and Bunny Rabbit's parts go her limbs go from being natural and organic back to robot parts, and she gets like super fucking sad and tears start streaming down her eyes. I was like, but the rabbit, no. Now I don't feel good.
My tummy hurts.
Now I'll be honest, I started imagining you were talking about Serena because that's your nickname for her.
Oh,
Serena, no.
Rabbit, no. I know that's a pretty extreme comparison to Batman.
I get it. From what you're saying, it does sound kind of sad if you actually like that character. Also, can I just point out that there's an episode where she refers to a storybook character to Tails as nasty as a one-eyed snake.
That wolf is nasty, huh, Bunny? Nasty as a one-eyed snake, Sugar.
Think about that. Nasty as a penis, Tails.
What?
That's a euphemism.
I did not know that.
One-eyed snake. Penis.
Oh. Well, okay.
Penis!
Bunny wants a nasty penis. Okay, no, we're stopping here. I'm not pursuing this thing. Let's move on. I know you thought we were about to move on to maybe the worst, but actually in between SatAM and the next US show Underground in 1996, even though it didn't see release here until around the relaunch of the Dreamcast, we got our first of Japan trying to do something with Sonic because we got a 2-part OVA, which is that's original animation. It's like the direct-to-video thing in Japan, which, unlike the US, that can sometimes mean you're getting something good.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really like this one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not the exact opposite. I actually saw this really late. I heard of the OVA. I didn't really think much.
It's notorious for some reasons.
Yeah. I actually went over, I think like 6, maybe 7 years ago, I went over to a friend's house and we watched it. And I was like, why? Why did I do this to myself? Why did I not catch this before?
Oh.
Why did I not see this before?
I thought you were like, why did I sit through this?
Well, I felt that... let me back up. I felt that way when I watched the entire thing. But when I got through maybe like the first half, I had a great time.
I do like the first half better.
I did like the first half. I was like, man, these backgrounds, this animation is pretty fucking good.
I like this show not because of the writing, or especially, I've never watched it in Japanese. The dub is infamously
something
misguided. Let's just get to that first, because None of the game actors were brought on for this. This was ADV back in their early days, and they did a lot of really awful dubs when they were first starting out. So Sonic sounds very high-pitched, pseudo-British and effeminate. Like, what are you talking about, Robotnik? We have no time for you. I heard everything.
Where's my monocle? It's time for me to go.
You're the one who can fly. You do something. Why should I have to go around cleaning up your messes? Get out of our way!
Get out of our way. Tails is a middle-aged woman just plucking her nose. Sonic, I think we the thinking. Oh, Sonic, I can save you. Sonic, help me.
That must be Robert Traveler! Sonic! I can save you! Ah! I'm afraid of lightning!
Yeah,
it's awful. And Knuckles is not as bad, but I still remember hearing him like, this sounds like Yakko Warner doing a Knuckles impression. It's still not what you would expect the most badass of the three to sound like.
Finding treasure is my absolute favorite pastime. I'm Knuckles. I'm Sonic's best friend.
Yeah, this, there was something.
However, I will say, good Robotnik voice.
I, Dr. Robotnik, scientist extraordinaire, have finally completed my greatest invention ever.
Good Robotnik voice. I think we can always say that.
And actually, it's a funny thing I looked up, because I looked up the voice cast. A lot of them didn't do much, but Robotnik's guy has been working for a while, and he has two notable credits. First, have you ever seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yes, I have.
He's the crazy hitchhiker at the beginning.
Oh.
And here's the crazy one. He was not the voice, but the in-suit performer for Lord Zed.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
So he has a varied body of work.
Holy shit.
Let's give that man some credit.
Yeah. Just walking around with a giant snake, throwing a shaped like a Z.
Also, if you ever look up interviews with the guy who did the voice of Zed, it's trippy because his natural voice is the most gentle, meek-sounding thing in the world.
Yeah, Power Rangers is a crazy time.
Yes, we've talked in the past, and I'm sure we'll touch on it again someday.
Mm-hmm.
But so yes, the voice acting is dreadful. You've gotten memes from it, like "Shut up, Tails." My favorite is Sonic's little monologue to Metal Sonic, because there's this weird plot point they just out of nowhere where like they can read each other's minds and some bullshit.
They headbutt each other.
And Sonic, I'm going to quote it, and then in the final episode I'll put in the actual audio, because this just amplifies the weird Sonic voice. And they're like, you might know everything I'm going to do, but that won't help you since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? It's so off and what?
It's not good.
It is not. I probably never want to watch this thing in Japanese, because I got this on VHS when it first came out in the US, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it. Mm-hmm. It is something I kind of have on the background sometimes when I'm working. I'm kind of ashamed how much of it I can quote. But okay, let me talk to what is good about. I just really like the presentation and overall atmosphere of this show. It's a unique beast, both in terms of Sonic and other anime I've seen.
Yeah, there's out of any of the Sonic stuff, of the Sonic shows that we've seen, this one has a sense of a world that doesn't need explaining, but there's also like an air of mystery to it.
Yes,
okay, in SatAM, it was pretty heavy on the nods that the whole world's been roboticized, and the freedom fighters are going to go take back civilization because that's the right thing to do. But here, there's like a giant planet on the planet.
It is. There's one. It's divided into two lands: the floating land of the sky and the land of darkness, where Robotnik lives. But when they go down to the land of darkness, they find what Tails calls the ancient relics. But the ancient relics is like deteriorating, abandoned New York City.
Yeah.
They go on top of the Chrysler building, then another quote, look, the relics are sinking right into the ocean. So I'm like, did global warming happen to the human world? Is this version of Sonic a post-apocalyptic Earth? And they don't dwell on it after that.
They really don't dwell on it.
Interesting little aside.
It's more like, of course, this is one of those stories where it's like, you're given the hints that we killed each other, so be good to one another. And
it's also worth noting that these first three cartoons we discussed were before Sonic didn't start to have more of a concrete plot and dialogue and world until the Dreamcast days.
Yeah.
So these guys were kind of taking just these bare bones character and plot concepts and doing their own spin on them.
It kind of felt like, I'm not sure where they were going from Sonic CD, but the opening animation kind of felt that way too.
I think that some of the same people worked on it, and it definitely used the same character design. And I do want to talk about like the animation during dialogue and stuff is kind of standard, but when they do action stuff, like that's when the backgrounds are the most imaginative.
They really are.
I love this soundtrack. Love it. And honestly, I was pissed for years because almost every anime gets an OST, a soundtrack release in Japan, even just the shittiest ones. This one never did. And apparently someone even found the composer who, I looked him up, he did the music for this, the opening music for Golden Boy, a very funny comedy anime, and then Hentai, and then he stopped. And they asked him, do you have recordings of this? Do you have access to this? And he's like, you have to ask Sega. I don't have this. And it got to the point where, I'll post a link to the description, this one guy took it upon himself to manually recreate the soundtrack.
Oh,
so you wouldn't have sound effects and voices the way, and most of it is really dead on. And God, I love, like, my favorite part of it just overall, because of this, like, in terms of this, like, experience is when this montage when they first entered the land of darkness. So it's just Sonic and Tails running through bad eggs going on springs. And there's just this cool synthy I'm not doing it justice, but it just I talked about when we did our personal prep project 5, like what a unique soundtrack can add to the experience.
Yeah.
And this is like not the only example, but it's a good one. Like something with a mediocre story and script and terrible voice acting, but still just a kind of a unique experience. And I've actually tried to find other anime that would fall into this same feeling for me, and I haven't found it yet.
Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying.
I have some genuine admiration for this thing, and it's something I'd like to go back to.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind checking it out again, honestly. I mean, of course, it's not great.
Maybe try watching in Japanese.
Acting, and we can try watching in Japanese.
I think in Japanese is probably okay.
Honestly, I think I'd have a fun time listening in regular old English. That's fun,
it's fun. It is fun, but it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we know what the movie is, and even without the horrendous voice acting,
Mr. President,
metal. Yeah. Well, the script is still rather not that great.
Not good.
Yeah, but even so, like you nailed it. The presentation is pretty. It's
imaginative.
It's
kind of immersive,
really creative.
And just there's nothing else like it even in Sonic. It's just interesting little oddity, and I always I'm fascinated by things like that.
Honestly, I think that the Sonic OVA probably had the most. I don't want to say spot on because
it's not the same as the games.
I think it had the most imaginative world that they could muster out of Adventures of, which was pretty off the wall and ridiculous, but not executed that well.
I stand by the backgrounds and Adventures being just horseshit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
And better than SatAM.
SatAM had good stuff, but the animation still was,
Well, even with the animation, like there were things about the Sonic OVA that was left up to mystery. They had the time to be able to build on that kind of stuff, and they didn't really touch it for too long.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell people, go look up the Land of Darkness scene, and even parts of the climax where he's fighting Metal Sonic. Just ignore the dialogue.
Sonic's also less of a dick here.
He kind of is at the beginning.
Well,
where it's like, Sonic, you're the only one who can save the world. Forget about it. Why should I go cleaning up your messes?
I remember that.
I just want to keep quoting Sonic. I'm sorry.
He's like in a beach chair, right? He has like his sunglasses on.
You're the one who can fly. Do something. And Tails responds,
love that. I love that. I love the fact that he's like sitting in a beach chair and he has like his sunglasses on.
Oh, and he's playing a boombox with a remote?
Yeah. I don't know why, but
because he's way past cool.
Well, of course he's way past cool. Well, actually, you nailed it. Yeah, there are a couple poses that speak to me that tell me exactly who Sonic is, and that pose right there, where he's just like laying back nonchalantly.
I've seen people use that for form avatars a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's damn good. Like that's.
I feel like this also has something of a cult following as Sonic animations go, and I bet a lot of it is for the reasons I'm talking about. It's imaginative. It's atmospheric. It is not a good story or acting, but I still like it.
Yeah. I think SatAM kind of beats it in the story department.
Yes. But actually, I wanted to bring up all three of the things we've talked so far. You can find on YouTube. So
Yeah.
And some of them have been on Netflix in the past. I don't think they are anymore, but go look for that. But let's move on to the real cream of the crop. We've been up to ladies and gentlemen, the masterpiece known as Sonic Underground. They made a vow their mother will... I do love that theme song.
I'm glad you love it.
It's strangely epic for such a horrible piece of shit.
I mean, yeah, you got the last part right.
I will tell people, look up... I remember, I couldn't find it on YouTube, but I saw on Tumblr once, Chris Niosi, Kerberfer, when one of the Sonic and Mario Olympics games was coming out, there was a mini game where you would ride horses, and everybody thought the picture of Sonic riding horse was the silliest thing ever. So he performed a rewritten version of the theme, Sonic on a horse. They made a vow their medal will be found. Sonic on a horse.
That's cute.
So one good thing did come from Underground.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
This is another one that just, they kind of went back to having jack shit to do with Sonic.
All right, let's
unpack this.
Before we do anything else, let's address the elephant in the room, shall we?
What?
Okay, Jaleel White is still Sonic. That's good. That's good stuff.
But
he is also Jaleel White also is portraying Sonic's brother and sister. Manic, a green drummer who does not run very well.
No, neither of them are fast.
And Sonia, who is Sonic, the girl who does not run very well.
He kind of puts on like a southern drawl almost. I don't.
It is not the best thing.
It was not a good idea.
These are not executed well.
Yeah, and even beyond that, like the weird thing is this show's backstory and world. It feels like it's trying to recreate SatAM's world because they've used the same Robotnik design. Again, this is the same, and also this is the same guy who said voice ground Optimus Primal. And I'm sorry, it's very bland in comparison.
It doesn't work so well here.
No.
I think this might be the weakest Robotnik because I don't remember him as much, and I'm sure he did a damn good job.
They use him less too. He was not a constant on this like the other versions.
But even if he was a good point about the show, it kind of still wouldn't save it.
No. For one thing,
let me start off by saying, I actually did not watch the first episode of this until about 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh.
I actually gave it another shot because one of my friends was like, Sonic Underground is actually not that bad, and I'm like, okay, I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I respect your opinion. Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. I still respect your opinion, and I'm going to give it a shot. And holy shit, the first opening, I guess 10 minutes of the first episode, not bad. Like, I actually liked it. This is the episode when.
Wow, you're more generous than me.
Well, this is the episode when Sonic's a kid, and
this is another show that gives you an actual setup origin story for the first episode.
It does. Sonic is. He is a child. He is not. It starts out with him as a child.
Still Jaleel White, though.
Yeah, he's still Jaleel White, and he's adopted by two very, very caring parents. And this is when the world is is in the process of being taken over by Dr. Robotnik Optimus Prime. So there's still large groups of people that are hiding away, but they're still able to live life.
And they have an iteration like the upper class floor. It becomes a class struggle.
It does. But I honestly didn't pay attention long enough.
By way of Sonic.
Honestly, didn't pay attention long enough for that.
No.
Sonic is given a special medallion, and we'll get to that later. By his adoptive parents and Dr. Robotnik, his goons, who are unmemorable, show up. And
are you talking about Sleet and Dingo?
Whoever the fuck, I don't give a shit.
There was another comedy duo for this, the Bebop and Rocksteady equivalent.
Not good. Whoever the fuck they are.
Okay, I got to bring up Maurice LaMarche voiced like half the cast in this show. Because I looked it up, it was again an all Canadian cast, aside from Jaleel White and aside from, for some reason, Maurice LaMarche. For those who don't know, the voice of the Brain from Picking the Brain, a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys. He's Uncle Chuck from SatAM who pops up in the first episode. He's this weird little green aardvark prophesier who kind of sets the whole thing in motion. And that's also the moment where I knew this Robotnik sucked, where like the prophesizer like wakes him up in his room and freezes him like, you cannot do anything, now listen to my prophecy. I'm like, this Robotnik is a wimp.
Yeah. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
There's a lot to unpack on this show.
Aye.
Whew. So, Robotnik is taking over shit, and Tiny Sonic has a medallion, and his adoptive parents' house is being destroyed, and they know their adoptive son is fast, and they know that he's good at being fast. And they told him never to run or some shit. And then like all this shit's happening, the world's coming down all around, and adoptive father is like, he bends down to Sonic, and he's like, Sonic, I want you to do something for me. And Tiny Sonic's like, yeah, Dad. And he's like, Sonic, I want you to run.
He turns into the evil clown from Brave Little Toaster. And
oh God, no!
Run!
No. Okay, so he bends down and he's like, I want you to run as fast as you can. And immediately Sonic's eyes get super big and he starts crying. Crying scenes are
they get to you, don't they?
Well, yeah. It's my kryptonite. And if they're done well, like I will respond to them. And Sonic just, you can tell he wants to bawl his eyes out, but he gets the situation in this moment, and he's like, I have to run as fast as I can. And he's like, yes, Sonic, run. And the little boy just goes and does, and it's just so fucking sad, this moment, and it kind of got to me. It's actually really memorable.
Well, I remember what happens afterward, because he comes back to his burning house, and before we cut commercial, we get an overdramatic no.
Yeah, that happens. And you know what? That I can forgive that. And you know why I can forgive that, John?
Why?
Because these characters have special, powerful medallions around their neck that transform into musical instruments.
That makes up for everything.
And they sing, John.
Yes, a musical number in every episode.
They sing in every episode.
They pulled a Donkey Kong on us.
Oh my God. This show blue-balled me so bad.
Yes, I want to bring this up again because I don't think we got it in the recording. When this new show was coming out, because they announced it in the comic series that I was into at the time, and I was like, oh man, the first new comic cartoon in years, I gotta catch this. And it was like showing really early on my local WB, like Sunday morning at 6, and I was like, Mom, I gotta get up early, I gotta watch this new Sonic. And she was up for whatever reason, like to work, and when this was over, she just didn't even try to hide it. She turned to me and went, you got up early for that?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I did.
John, this show fooled us into thinking it was going to be good.
No, I remember I didn't even like that first half. I didn't have the same feelings as you. And then they started singing. It's showing those siblings' heads floating in the sky going, someday we are going to be together. Oh, I gotta forward you again, because that wasn't Julia White doing the singing. Do you know who did Sonic's singing voice?
Who did the singing, John? Who did the singing?
Double fucking D.
Jesus fuck.
Ed, and Eddie.
D did the singing?
Yes. And you can totally hear it if you go back knowing that.
What I'm going to die one day, John.
And flooring you with all these voice actors.
And now you've reminded me of why I will die. Not of old age.
But
not of doing something really bitchin', but of Sonic Underground.
Listen, oh man, your obituary newspaper, cause of death, Sonic Underground.
Sonic Underground.
No, I'm sure people could die from the show for other reasons because it's just so lame.
This show is not good.
It's not Sonic. It's just not.
There are moments when this show completely is aware of the older shows and what was good about them. Like,
yes, okay, and so they tried to do it again, but
yeah, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, no matter what you think about it, was super fucking experimental. It was not executed very well. There are specific points.
It was balls to the wall.
It was very balls to the wall.
This was not.
But it was actually kind of effective in how it was super fucking zany and still not being very good in its execution.
Okay. And we talked about what worked about SatAM.
Yes, we did, and it had a pretty good dark tone. It had a wicked cast of characters.
I honestly feel this draws more from that than Adventures.
It kind of does. It tries to be funny, and the only time it was funny, and my friend quotes this from time to time, is when Sonic is is waiting for someone at a very long table at the front. And he is like sitting like a supervillain, and he goes, "So, I guess you're wondering why I called this meeting." And it is legit that moment where I was like, holy shit, that's actually pretty fucking boss.
Wait, is Sonic doing it or the Super
Sonic is doing this. He's like sitting at a long ass like
with Jaleel White's voice.
Jaleel White's voice.
I guess I can't do it.
I wonder.
Also,
I can't
really,
do it.
really
I'm
sad.
having too many emotions right now.
I'm really sad. This is the first Western cartoon to incorporate Knuckles.
That's right. It was.
In like 2 episodes, he pops up with another whiny voice. I think he was actually played by a guy named. Okay, I'm gonna check this to make sure because this might blow your mind too. Phil, you say something for the next 20 seconds.
Well, I'm really sad that this show exists.
Oh, I was right. It is a guy named Brian Drummond. Do you know who that is?
I've heard his name before.
He was in that original dub of DBZ. He was Vegeta.
Serena is loving this information right now.
In Death Note, he's Ryuk.
She knew this information. I'm sorry. She wanted you to know that she knew this information specifically.
I'm looking up. He was in a bunch of Gundam shows, Inuyasha. He's been around.
That's awesome information, John. And I understand that he needed a paycheck. I understand that voice acting does not pay very much.
No, it's not like they were. It's not like they were thinking, "Oh yeah, this is good material." Like,
I
so rarely blame voice actors for stuff. I blame the voice actors for the Sonic OVA.
I'm not blaming voice actors for the bad things on the show. The reason why this show is so lame and so forgettable is that it takes elements of the past shows, but doesn't do anything interesting with them.
Or bastardizes them.
The only original thing the show does is it creates musical numbers, which you never really need.
And if gives Sonic 2 siblings.
If there was, yes, the Sonic siblings. If there was ever a time when I thought that Sonic didn't need any more shit to weigh him down, does he really? Okay, let's get it out the way. Does he really need to go on an adventure? A jet boarding adventure. Does he really need to? He can run really fast. Okay, I know that Sonic writers, like, we know that Jet
he can run on water.
He can run on water. Jesus. Apparently he'll drown, but
he can't swim.
Do we really need that adventure? Okay, let's even going past that. Maybe he does. Okay, does Sonic need to be on an adventure helping Shadow in an alien invasion? Does he really? Does he really need to be there? Does Sonic need to be in a really shitty Chrono Trigger rip? Sonic 06, everyone.
Does he need to be in the Arabian Nights or Camelot?
Does he?
No.
Does he? Does he really? No. Yeah, the answer is no. Yes. You got it. Then why is he singing? Why does he have a guitar?
Why is he Double D?
Jesus Christ. Why?
I kind of want to move on. This show is draining me, even just talking about it. Don't watch this one, folks.
Bad.
Don't watch this one. I think we've each had good things to say to an extent about the first 3. This show is the low.
This show has moments, and they are very small and they are very fleeting of what the old shows used to be. That is the only good thing about Sonic.
It feels like a pale imitation.
It is a shade of its former self,
guys. I think it says a lot that the next show we're going to talk about is a step up, and I don't like it. Back to Japan. Sonic X.
Sonic X.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster. I gotta bring this up. Patrick liked to joke when we were kids, when you get to the last part of that theme song, the 4Kids version, where it's like, Sonic X, he would plainly go, John, it sounds like the singer is achieving orgasm.
It does sound like they're achieving orgasm, achieving sentience, probably
like they're way into singing
Nirvana. They're not achieving anything human at the moment, I think. That's what I'm saying.
This might have been the most disappointing for me, even more than Underground, because
hell yeah,
it was kind of hyped up for a while before it started airing here, even before it started airing Fury, because this was a show I was trying to watch through fan subs, and so this was the first one we made after they kind of established a more grounded continuity and a lot of new characters in the game. This was post Adventure and Heroes and stuff, and so we're like, hey, we got Amy now and Rouge and Shadow, and we're like, this is, and then also bring it back to what we talked about. The animation for the show was provided by TMS.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I will give it that the visuals are not half bad. They are adequate for the
I remember seeing a couple episodes of Sonic X. It really doesn't look like that Tokyo movie Shinsha did.
It is not. They were not on their A game, but I do not think it looks bad. But anyway, I remember when I started to get a little nervous, which is when they dropped some more screen and like, here are the human kids. Here are all these human characters we made up for this. Here's Chris.
Yeah.
And
I like the name that his name is Chris.
No, I remember my first impression was, because I looked at his hair and was like, that's Sora. That's just Sora in a different clothes. What are you doing?
That is exactly what I thought. And you know what? When you said Chris, I immediately knew his name is Chris, but in my head, I was thinking Sora.
Yeah. And actually, I do want to just bring up one more shout out to Generated Animation. Felipe has admitted he did love both Adventures and X when he was younger, and now he regrets it. So, and I think he cites Chris as big reason. So here's the problem with the show. If you watch the first episode, it shows promise because the opening half is just the Sonic crew, like Sonic busting to Eggman's base, busting through all these robots. You see like Tails and Amy flying the tornado plane, and Big is off fishing in the background. Eggman's doing shit with the gas emeralds. Rouge is in the shadows, and then they warp to the human world.
I'm like, how boring can you be? There is nothing interesting happening. Why are you here?
And this is a problem. Back when I had a blog, I wrote this was a really reoccurring problem with kids anime that adapted stuff back in the day, where they had this mentality like, oh, you don't want to follow the actual famous character. We're going to make up these kids you're going to follow. Like 4Kids on the same block, the Kirby anime. No, it's not actually about Kirby. It's about these two kids he's children. Like, Kirby doesn't even talk in that show. Even though that show's somewhat of a guilty pleasure for me because anytime DDD and Escargoon was on screen, I was cracking up. But, a really disappointing one that I still watch for some reason, SD Gundam, the Toonami one. Mm-hmm. I remember they were careful to not focus on the annoying, horribly voice acted kid that was the actual main character in that.
Mm-hmm. I remember that too. I remember somebody making a
post like, when did Gundam become Jimmy Neutron? But this show is more about Chris and the humans than Sonic. Sonic is barely relevant to the plot of these. So much of this, just him like lazing, like lounging off to the side and just kicking into action when he needs to.
I keep going back to the Sonic. Here's the thing about Sonic games, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic shows and stories, whatever the fuck. Sonic is always compared to the last thing he did. If you ever wind up doing a Sonic fanfic or you wind up doing a Sonic game, #Mania, you're always going to be compared to the last good thing that Sonic has ever done. Mm-hmm. So if your claim to fame on this ridiculously popular property is to take all the popular elements of Sonic the Hedgehog and put him in the human world with these boring ass kids and this weird, uninteresting scientist,
among many others.
Also,
weird thing.
Tails gets a girlfriend. I remember that.
We'll get to that. I just want to bring up the scientist was the uncle of Chris, and his name was Uncle Chuck. I have no idea if that's a coincidence or not.
Oh, that is not a coincidence. I kid you not.
Did Japan care about SatAM?
I have no proof that is not a coincidence. But in the age of the internet, and as popular as a franchise as Sonic is, and the fact that they fucking did it before in Sonic Underground, someone made that connection. It was like the
and I can tell you when that second episode started, I think I realized that was really when I realized this is the case of death, where like Chris is spending time talking about like hedgehogs aren't normally this big, they aren't normally blue, they don't normally look like this, they don't normally talk. Here, try this pet food, like. What?
Yeah, it's Sonic Egg is boring. Sonic Egg is boring as fuck.
Such a missed opportunity, God, because you finally start bringing other characters. And
Sonic Underground was borrowing from all these other Sonic franchises, but at least they were doing something original. But
what's really frustrating is, so there were 3 seasons to this show. The first one was kind of, they were doing their own thing. The second one, they started doing adaptations of the game stories, like Adventure 1, 2, Battle, maybe one other I'm forgetting, maybe Heroes, but they kept incorporating the human characters in there. Like in Adventure 2, it's not in this, when they did this, it wasn't Amy who like changed Shadow's motivation, it was Chris, because that's what everybody wants.
That's what everybody wants.
Granted, I don't like Amy either, but
I mean, I think Amy is fine if she's utilized correctly.
Well, they've been doing that more lately. We'll get to that.
Well, and I say all this is that nothing will make me roll my eyes faster when you take an established property and you put them into human world. So I doubt that Sega may be listening, but I hope to God that when they do that Sonic the Hedgehog movie that's coming out soon,
that's what I'm hearing they're going to be doing. That's the premise. It's going to be live action world CG characters.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. I hope that when they inevitably do that, they know that we know that it's been done before and that we might not be too happy with it. I may not be the target audience, and God's sake, Chris. if it's a Sonic thing, then I'm accidentally a target audience. You might want my money.
It's Hollywood. They won't know.
I know. Oh, they know.
I know they won't know.
No,
I know they won't know.
Oh, okay. All right, Morpheus. Hold on 1 second.
I was actually I'm not joking. I was borrowing a joke from Bulk and Skull.
Okay, as long as you weren't doing it from Troll Hunters.
Bulk is boasting about something, and Skull's like, we don't know that, but like,
I know that we don't know, but they don't know that we don't know. You know? No, forget it.
There's a really that's funny. There's a really good moment in this series called Troll Hunters that do that too. And we should really talk about that one day.
I still need to watch it, but sure, at some point. But let's move. Oh, last thing I want to say about X, because you brought up Tails. So they did one more season after the show had ended, but it got popular enough that they did a third season, and that just went like, we're going to space now. We're fighting aliens now. Tails gets an alien plant girlfriend that spoilers, he has to kill her at the end to save the day. And
I saw that coming, but I have to admit, that was a cute little setup. It was cute. That's all I got for it.
It was cute that she died. Ha, 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 ha.
Well, not cute. It was cute that
Tails got a girlfriend.
They had the wherewithal to give Tails something instead of writing Sonic's coattails all the time.
But also,
I'm not saying that it was the right
decision. I think that arc made me realize that this show does have a sizable fan base. You can find so many like music videos and fan arts. Tails X Cosmo. That was her name, Cosmo. Like, this show does have a lot of fans, and if you're listening to this and you are a fan, I'm sorry. You can like it, but we do not.
Yeah, it's
like I said, it's I can partially understand because it's not the same level of shit as something like Underground.
It's not, but it's still you've seen this story before, and honestly, when I harp on things like taking a popular franchise, putting it in a human world, having the human kids do things, and these kids are generally kind of uninteresting, and you might find interesting attributes about them. I'm not narking. I'm not getting on your case about that. What I'm saying is that
one last thing I want to touch on, then we can move on to the last show. So this was the first use of 4Kids voice actors, which they later put on the games for a while, and it is a mixed bag. Like I said, I don't like Sonic. I don't like Tails either. It's kind of the same problem of an obvious adult trying to do it. That said, and Knuckles is good, but you just hear Yugi, and it's very distracting. First time that the guy we talked about, Mike Pollock, is playing Eggman, and watching the first episode, he hadn't nailed it quite yet. He didn't know how it's streamed to take it, but now he's great. And last thing I will say, one perfect fit is, do you know who voiced Amy in it?
Who voiced Amy in it?
The voice of Lena Inverse from Slayers.
All right.
Oh, you know what that is?
No, I've never watched Slayers.
Slayers is a fun. I only just
I know what Slayers is.
It was kind of her breakout role. I also know where, like, in Pokemon, so many, like, if there was like a girl who appeared in one episode, it was her so many times. So, but I remember people were guessing when they were like, "Who's gonna be the cast?" It was like, it's got to be her, because she actually did sound like the Dreamcast voice at the time, so it was natural. Anyway, I'm actually really curious to discuss the last show because I have no idea what you think of it, and that is the still ongoing Sonic Boom.
I don't have too many problems with it.
Yeah, I like this one.
I say that because, well, I've seen, I saw the opening, not the opening, I saw the sneak peek of Sonic Boom. And when I saw the sneak peek of Sonic Boom, I was like, cool! Like, I don't get...
Are you talking about the redesigns or actual clips?
I'm talking about the actual clips of the show.
Okay.
Like, when the show was first, when they showed a sneak peek of the show, and Robotnik had like a fisticuffs robot, and Sonic was like, "So, is it called Brainbot?" And he's like, "Why'd you call it Brains?" And it's like, look, the name doesn't matter. They have like a witty for. I like that.
It's go ahead.
They actually had like some pretty good action scenes in that little moment of what they showed, and they left a small opening for things to come.
And also, I want to know,
I'm not sure if they still do that. like because I don't watch the show all that often. But there are clips and there are small sequences of the show that I see, and I'm genuinely pretty amused by it.
I'm even impressed by some parts. But see, the interesting thing about the show is this is the first in a long time to basically be like, we're not going to try to be serious or have some overarching plot at all. This is pure comedy.
Honestly, this show could be any other franchise, and I say that like
to a degree, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's very YouTube meme heavy, and I think the writers know that. But at the same time, it's still executed pretty well.
It's pretty funny. There are certainly a lot of jokes that are duds, but there are a lot that got genuine chuckles out of me. Like, I just watched an episode. Oh, go ahead.
The time when I forget what happened, but Sonic is reading something, and Knuckles is like, "Give me that," and he takes a book and he puts like a pair of glasses on, and he's like, "Oh, I just remembered I can't read." Yes. And that shit was pretty fucking great.
Because they made him so stupid here. Like, I just watched an episode where they awaken rock giant that's been asleep for millennia, and Amy's like, this thing hasn't been seen, nobody's ever seen one in 20,000 years, and Knuckles like, that's not true, we just saw one wake up 5 minutes ago. Or there's a lot of, but like I said, there's also a lot of, this is the most like in-joke meta Sonic cartoon officially made yet. Like, there are references to Sonic and Amy fanfics. There's a part that you can just see clips of this people have isolated where like Sonic says he picked up an old retro game and he's like, oh, that series was so good, it never made a good transition to 3D. Yeah, and they should have never changed the color of his arms because they changed Sonic's arm color for the show. Also, I haven't seen the clip, I've seen pictures where Sonic does it's a very cliche line where like, danger's my middle name, and Knuckles goes, I thought your middle name was the.
For the longest time.
His legal name is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. For the longest time, I could not get behind the fact that Knuckles is a bit of an idiot. And you know what?
He's gullible.
My version of Knuckles, in my head canon, is this fiercely protective guy who sometimes gets the answers wrong.
Yeah, I never saw him as that dumb, just easily tricked by the likes of Eggman.
Yeah, and there were some dumb reasons behind that, whether or not it's right or whether or not he was just like that for the sake of convenience. But to be perfectly honest, I've been railing against dumb Knuckles for a long time, and Sonic Boom's made me a fan.
It's funny.
Dumb Knuckles is fucking legit.
Also kind of trippy that, do you know who voices him?
Who voices Knuckles?
The voice of Colonel Roy Mustang.
I knew it. I knew that was Colonel Roy Mustang.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. I mean, well, not that weird, but I heard his voice. I was like, that's Roy Mustang. I'm not going to go online to prove it, but I know that's his voice. And now you just confirmed it for me.
Yeah. Though, okay, on the flip side, I think Colin said the same thing as me. I want to like Styx. I do, but no.
There are times when Styx can be funny.
Yes,
there are some genuine episodes. There are some genuine episodes of Styx where she's actually treated with a modicum of respect and not the catch-all meta character that's always talking to the camera.
She's the overly zany, frantic, spazzy, screaming one, and I just can't get behind. It's the same reason you can't get behind the Minions or the Rabbids.
Yeah.
Only she actually talks.
Yeah. I think that's it. Here's the thing with Sonic Boom, and I have a pretty good feeling they're going to play this with the Sonic movie, and this is where I'm coming to blows with this franchise.
What?
And this plays in line with my original point from about 6 minutes ago. So, Sonic Boom is super, super meta. It doesn't necessarily have to be to tell a coherent or funny story, but it gets the job done, and I actually feel like it can be really hilarious at times. The show does a good job, and I kind of wish to beat out Family Guy for the daytime Emmy, the Grammy. I forget what it was.
I wish anything would beat out Family Guy at this point.
Yeah, but this is Sonic Boom. The show is a genuine fresh air. What I don't want it to be is an experiment for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And again, I know I'm 32. I know that that when you take your kids to go see a family film, there has to be the wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the parents to be I
remember seeing this great flash that was like a parody of all Sonic fanfics, and so at one point you hear Sonic goes, "Well, what the fuck, Cal?" And then the writer interrupts and like puts his finger on the screen and goes, "See, you see, Sega, us Sonic fans are adults. We can handle a little language."
We can, but I know that that's not what Sonic needs. He doesn't need to be gritty. edgy, dark.
Well, that's what Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06
He doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be meta. He doesn't need to be terribly sarcastic. He doesn't need to be a dick.
I do like the meta humor in this.
Well, the meta humor. The meta humor.
I'll bring up more in a second. But
what I'm worried about is taking that narrative, applying it to the movie, just because Sonic is in the human world. So when I say that, Sega, we know that you've done that. This is a cliche that's done before. Hollywood, we know that this is a cliche that's been done before.
To death.
And kids know that. I know that kids are inevitably going to go see it. I know you're going to see your movie anyway.
They went to the Smurfs.
That doesn't mean you can't be good. That's all I'm saying in that
once
regard.
the official word comes out on the premise of the movie, that's when my interest is going to stick around or just die.
Well, my interest kind of died when they said that Sonic going to the human. I'm like, why does he come here?
The thing is, it's not 100% confirmed yet because this movie's been in development hell for a while. It still hasn't 100% got off the ground.
I thought that was confirmed.
They have the director of Deadpool on for it.
Oh, well, that's better.
Yeah, that's a step in the right direction. I mean, obviously not swearing, but sense of humor at least.
Well, Deadpool was pretty fucking meta
and funny.
But does a Sonic the Hedgehog movie need to be meta?
It depends on how much and how they approach it for me. Because I just want to bring up some of the, I guess. I did bring up the. Did you see the clip with Amy talking about what her cup of tea is?
Yes, I did.
That was amazing.
I saw that clip.
The one that really blew my mind is feminist Knuckles.
Can the young woman break the glass ceiling and prove once and for all that a female can be just as good an athlete as a male?
You know, Amy, anytime someone calls attention to the breaking of gender rules, it ultimately undermines the concept of gender equality by implying that this is an exception and not the status quo. What? Just because I'm a meathead doesn't mean I'm not a feminist.
Oh, the internet went crazy with feminist
That was kind of unbelievable.
You know what's also unbelievable?
What?
Eggman has been canon as a feminist for the longest time. Eggman. And Serena's giving this a thumbs down, and we know why. Eggman's a piece of shit. But you might have to Google this, and I think this has to do with the Sonic Heroes what? Lore. Let me see here.
What evidence in Sonic Heroes was... Eggman had barely any story.
One second. Let me just type it up here. Eggman feminist. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I got. There's a bunch of images that came up. I'm going to... First one that's come up on Google. And this is coming from a manual. This is, I think, the Sonic Adventure 2 design of Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, it says, Eggman is a romanticist, a feminist, and a self-professed gentleman.
What the fuck is real anymore?
Sadly, his charms are often difficult to spot.
I'll bet.
This is a real thing. So and I was kind of surprised to see the internet go so crazy. I'm like, this was a funny joke.
I mean,
it's also canon somewhere else.
Colin he brought up like weirder stuff, like how Knuckles is the one with like kind of dreads and his favorite food is grapes.
Yeah, that's funny, huh?
Well, it's something.
Yeah,
I made it funny when I said at least it's not watermelon.
You know what's also funny?
What?
Well, yeah, at least it's not watermelon. That's. I think they would have been too on the nose on that one.
Oh, they could be even more on the nose. We talked about Jinx and Pokemon, but anyway.
We talked about Jinx and Pokemon. Have we also talked about that? That Blaze the cat is also self-conscious about her bust size.
I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
That's a real thing, apparently.
It's Japan, of course it is.
God. There are a lot of bad things in Sonic the Hedgehog lore, and when
I know a lot of people because
bad things about to happen in a movie. This is not we heard.
An American family movie is not going to have Blaze talking about her bust size.
Oh, but it will have Smurfette pulling a Marilyn Monroe in the Smurfs movie.
I mean, you didn't see anything, but
I mean, did we need to have that joke though?
I saw that movie in theaters.
Why?
To review. I was doing reviews at the time. I haven't seen anything.
Dies. asterisk dies. Close asterisk.
No. The asterisk dies is when the Smurfs start rapping while playing Guitar Hero.
We did not need this at all.
Okay, I want to get away from the Smurfs. I really do. But we can finish things up with Boom. But I do remember the last thing I want to bring up in terms of its actual presentation. So it's the first all CG Sonic show. The character models and animation are pretty good, but the environments look a little bland.
They're pretty. The character models are pretty consistent all around.
Yeah, no, the characters look good, but I wish the environments had a little more sparks to them. But also, I can't believe I'm probably the only person who can make a comparison between this and the Kingdom Hearts presentation. There are so many scenes where I just want some background music.
Okay.
And like anytime there's no action, it doesn't really matter what the mood or urgency of the scene is. It's just the voices, and it just feels a little empty.
This show isn't very atmospheric. It's
a shame.
It's definitely more of the kind of sitcom comedy.
Yeah. It has an episode where Eggman is like, "Can I stay with you for a while?"
Yeah.
It is a sitcom
definitely.
pretty much that happens to have Sonic characters.
There's also an episode where they take care of a baby.
I didn't see that. Oh, Underground episode they took care of a baby. I posted a GIF on my Tumblr. The baby turns out to be a robot. Manic drops it in the air. It falls and blows up, and Manic tears up.
I think for me, personally, having watched a lot of cartoons and a lot of sitcoms, the point where I feel like the show is starting to run out of ideas, the baby episode.
Is what?
I'm not sure if Sonic Boom has gotten to this point because it's pretty excellently written.
Yeah, and it's only in second season, third season. It's not that far in.
Yeah, and the writers seem to be really aware of some tropes and some cliches to work around.
Judging by the stuff we've brought up about the meta and feminist stuff, they're probably well aware.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with a lot more kick-ass.
Yeah,
we just have a lot of jokes, guys. I hope you're ready.
Yep. So I get. This is already on par to be on length with the Colin episode.
Oh, cool.
God, but I'm happy about that. Like, we built up doing Sonic episodes for so long, and we've ended up with more than we could ever have imagined.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
but actually, so I do think there's a few other things I want to talk about. So to wrap up on the cartoons, let's do a personal ranking of each of these franchises. So I will do mine. At the bottom is Underground.
Yeah, of course.
After that is, I actually have to give Adventures in X a tie. I know you're probably going to hate me for that, but
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I think Adventures is technically poor, but at least it's more interesting because of that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would go with SatAM, and then a tie between OVA and Boom, because like we mentioned, Boom has no good atmosphere of world building to it, but has a witty script. OVA has dumb script and voice acting, but
the exact opposite.
I still get sucked into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you rank them from worst to best, or otherwise?
So I would rank, let's see, I would rank SatAM as the best.
Okay.
Only because I like the characters so much.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I love Antoine he's a stereotype and it's awful, and people should never do it again.
I do have a soft spot for Rob Paulson though, so that helps.
I have a soft spot for Rob Paulson. The back and forth.
He replied to a tweet of mine once.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just a thank you for voicing Yakko. I'm sure we're gonna talk Animaniacs someday. Yakko Warner's legit one of my favorite characters in anything ever. So
yes. So Antoine's back and forth with Sonic the Hedgehog, other characters I find to be really, really strong. A lot of interpersonal relationships as a whole in SatAM was really strong. But I got to give it up to Jim Cummings, because that is the scariest Robotnik. That is legit one of the scariest villains I have ever seen.
Voiced by Winnie the Pooh.
Cartoon. Yeah, voiced by Winnie the Pooh.
And Darkwing Duck. And
Darkwing Duck. And Tigger. And everyone.
I mean, if we're talking to him in villain roles, he's pretty good as Pete in Disney when they let him be villainous.
Oh, yeah. Like when Jim Cummings is doing like a really serious role or having a really serious moment, it's one of the things that I really love about his characters. Like, you remember Goofy movie, right?
Yes.
You remember that scene?
Are you talking about when Pete tells him about the map?
Yeah. And Pete and Goofy are in the hot tub, and Goofy's like, "Look, I know that, my son is not like your son, but he loves me." And Pete is like, "Hey," he's like, "My son respects me." And that is Holy shit!
A Goofy movie is so underrated because there's so many like real moments like that.
There are so many layers in that moment
we should talk about it someday.
Well, yeah, like being able to encapsulate on a character like that
with Goofy,
that gives me the shivers.
I mean, the part where before the climax where Goofy's just driving silently and pissed, like
wow. Yeah. Also, can I just touch on this for one moment?
Yeah.
Like when Goofy is, even before that, when Goofy is pissed, like Goofy's giving Max the chance to like,
yes, which way? Which way?
And he's like, Max, all right, here comes our junction. That threw me out the movie. It seriously did. I wanted to yell, Goofy, who taught you that word? How do you know this word? How are you driving? Where is Max's mom?
How do you know Japanese?
How to do things?
Like in Kingdom Hearts, we talked about that.
We did.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
gotta give him credit, man. He's a loving dad. He can hold a job.
I gotta be totally honest. That broke me in such a way where I was like, I almost quit Goofy movie.
You're just like that because you think he should be like Pluto, walking on all fours, naked with a leash.
No, but he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, John. I'm just saying.
Guys, okay. what comes after SatAM? What is the rest of your ranking?
Okay. Jim Cummings plays an incredible performance as Dr. Robotnik. It is the interpersonal relationships of SatAM is why I listed so far at the top.
Okay.
But then, honestly, coming second, I gotta give it to Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
You disappoint me.
Sonic. Well, I'm sorry, but Sonic Adventures of. I have a lot of memories of Adventures.
That's fair, and I will give it credit. This is the best use of Jaleel White's Sonic out of all three shows he did it.
And technically, it's a very flawed show.
Oh yeah,
but at the same time, I have to appreciate the experimental nature of it.
Yes, it's kind of fascinating in how bad shit it is.
It's pretty kinetic. It's pretty ugly, but it's also pretty interesting at times. And when the animation is going, and when the plot knows where it's going,
I mean, you get the TMS episodes.
Yeah, it fucking sticks. Like as a kid, I was like, this animation. I know that squash and stretch. Where is that? I know that squash and stretch. And then I started seeing like Tiny Toons intros, and then like the Batman intros. I'm sorry, not the Batman intros, but the Gargoyle episodes. So I was like, that's the same company. They're doing the same stuff. And it's a conspiracy.
I wish they don't really help with American shows anymore. That's a shame.
No, but they did a music video about 5 or 10 years ago.
For who?
That was pretty interesting. Yeah, I'll find it and show it to you.
Okay, but next show.
Okay, so what we got? SatAM, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I would tie Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog with Sonic Boom.
Wait, okay, so second place is Adventures and Boom?
Yes.
Okay.
And I say that because Boom is a legit good show.
It's written very well.
It's not. My only beef with Sonic Boom, and this is a personal beef. It's not so much of an objective one. Is that this is not what Sonic originally is, and is not specific to his character.
And it's not really what you want Sonic to stay as, I'm guessing.
Well, no, not really. I
do feel he's less of a dick in Boom than most of the other shows. He does kind of have a moral compass to him.
Well, when I say that this is the least like Sonic, I mean that while I enjoy Sonic's character in this one, the world that this show takes place in and the general narrative that the show has can fit a lot of other shows. Looney Tunes played something like this too. It was far less meta, but it was still very sitcom-y when the Looney Tunes show was on Cartoon Network for the brief run it was there. And that was pretty well written too, regardless of, the internet hate that it had that people had for it.
Okay, the rest of these I think we need to compress things because we're finishing up. There actually still is one other thing I want to discuss. But yeah, what's next?
Okay, so I think all right, so the OVA comes at third.
The
OVA we know was pretty atmospheric, and I have glowing things to say about it, and I've already said them. The voice acting is not so good though,
and the script, and
the script's not so good either.
But it's a fun thing to experience.
It's a solid C. I give it a pass. Sure. I like it. Okay, let's get into the bad now.
All right,
Sonic Underground is bad. Sonic Underground is very bad. It's a bad show.
Wait, but you rank it above X?
I rank Sonic Underground above X.
Wow.
X is boring as shit. Nothing will make me go turn the channel quicker than anything else, quicker than I will turn the channel for Power Rangers in the same time slot, mind you, than if you put Sonic in the same world. Now, I wasn't 32 when this show came out.
High school.
I was pretty much on my way to college, but I still had an appreciation for 4Kids entertainment. But this was not a good move, I thought. And I know that there's a giant community out there that loves this specific show.
We brought it up. It has a following.
Yeah, but it still kind of bothers me that this is a cliche that continues to be used.
Is that the main reason you put it below Underground, is because it's boring?
Well, there's a difference between having a genuine human reaction and at all.
You cut off for a second. Between having human reaction and what?
Oh, there's a difference between having a human reaction when you're kind of interested but then genuinely annoyed, and then having no reaction at all, where you're just like, I've seen this 1,000 times, I'm turning the channel.
Huh. Okay, you know what? That just makes sense. Remember you talked about, I can't remember what we were talking about, but you said you'd seen Alien Covenant and were just kind of bored by it. And you're like, I'd rather it be, maybe it was about the Mario movie. Like, you'd rather it be spectacularly bad because that's more memorable than boring bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that does make some sense.
I wouldn't mind watching the Mario Brothers movie.
Yes, it's entertaining.
If I meant I had the choice between watching that and Alien. Because at least there's fun moments in Mario Brothers that are hilariously bad. Yeah. Instead of watching the Parent Trap happen and stupid people putting their faces in smelly eggs because the bad guy told them to.
Now you get a pie in the face.
Yeah, whap whap! It's a face hugger. Wow.
Face hugger pie. So that's it for the Sonic cartoons. But I did want to just touch on briefly. I don't think we have time for the comics at this point, but.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I've been teasing you about this for a while, and I think I found a way to show you. I'm placing a link here.
Oh.
Click on this and let me know if it loads.
Here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Click the page, please, and let me know if you can get in.
I did. It's coming. Internet
So this is a thing that will let us simultaneously watch this video and I'll have control over it. Because the Sonic fan base is so crazy that there's enough really cringy material out there. Oh, there you are. And I know, we're not going to talk about Chris Chan. He's gotten enough flack as is. This is kind of lesser known, but still kind of infamous. And this is kind of something special. I think it's better that you go in blind. So is it loaded at the 14-second mark for you?
It is loaded at the 15
Ladies and gentlemen, look this up and watch with us. Tanic the Hedgehog, Episode 1, Tanic. This was made by, I don't know where this kid was from. His biggest project ever.
It's like that cameraman
Torco Cool Killer. This is made by some kid.
What is happening? Wait, hold on. Don't say anything.
No, you're not gonna get an explanation because there really isn't one anymore. I don't know that.
It's loud. It's fuck.
It's finally. Wait, this is the boss music we were talking about. This epic final boss music in Sonic 06.
John, what is happening?
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Now we're going to cut to our main character, Peter Wems, and I'm going to be quiet here and let him narrate how he's feeling. Lying on stairs.
Oh, what a nice day. It says sun is smiling and...
Who is talking?
Him.
Getting bored out of my mind.
No, there's someone else talking.
Is there coming anything special? Goddammit, I'm going to do something for fun.
What is going on?
Is it just me, or is it kind of hot now?
All right, here's where the special effects come in.
Oh, God.
Okay,
hold on, John.
Yes.
I am hearing 10 different things all at once.
Oh.
Hold on. Time out. Do you hear the ad?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. There's an ad that's playing.
See if you can pause it.
I'm trying to find out where it is though. Give me a second.
I'll edit this out. But you saw that meteor.
I saw the meteor. That was pretty amazing.
This is basically this kid's Roger Rabbit, where he takes his OC Do Not Steal. Tanic the Hedgehog is basically Sonic if he was yellow and looked awful.
Okay. Yeah, give me a moment.
Yeah, but just describe the audience.
I don't know where it's playing from.
A live action kid environment on some shitty camcorder, standard definition. He was sitting very uncomfortably on some concrete steps saying, "The sun is smiling and I'm bored out of my mind."
Okay, John, give me a second because I'm hearing two different things. So I'm going to
check your internet tabs to see what.
It's Internet Explorer. Okay, that's what it was.
You get it?
You linked me to this thing, but it was also playing an app. It was also playing an ad in the background.
I'm sorry. Are you ready?
Nope. Give me a second.
Please stand by.
Are we good?
We're good. Okay.
Okay.
That was weird. Okay.
Here comes the good part.
Oh no.
All right.
No. No.
Okay, to let people know, this horribly MS Paint yellow hedgehog was just like Adobe After Effects raised into this live action frame. And now we're about to hear it and see how this kid does animation and writing.
No. Stay away from me.
This kid is dedicated.
What are you?
That looks like a butt.
That looks like a butt.
I am a hedgehog.
Screw it. Hedgehogs can't talk.
Oh, but do they dance? Pretty good, eh?
Okay, to describe what just happened.
You don't need to describe what just happened. I just saw it.
I do. This kid, it was kind of a Toon Boom Flash thing. He put Tanic's. He swapped into a different pose, and you can notice there was a frame where there was no body, and then he switched to a side view, and is awkwardly flailing each individual limb around, like rotating.
John.
It does not look natural at all. It is doing it to Witch Doctor.
John.
Yes?
Did you also notice the cameraman's shadow in the last couple seconds?
I didn't, but hang on, we gotta get to.
It was pretty sweet.
We gotta get to the rest of the epic story.
Let's do it.
So you're a hedgehog, eh?
I gotta admit, I am liking this.
Now come inside.
Oh, what is that? What is that in the trash can?
Here's how they interact with the environment.
Wait. Oh. I gotta admit, this is better than anything I put together when I was.
Yes, I gotta give this kid credit. I made. If you ever watched, I brought up. If you watched the WarioWare shorts I made when I was this age, they were barely any better than this. Now here's our villain with my favorite line. In space. Best part.
Where is Tanic?
Why is he black? Why is he? He's blacker than Shadow. I didn't think it was possible.
And that acting, like he was whisper yelling, "Where is Tanic?" Also, I don't know if you noticed the way this kid animates mouths, because even I did it the right way when I was doing Flash the first time, where you draw different symbols you can reuse. Here, he is just stretching a mouth shape horizontally and vertically.
I have to give it up to him because he knew that if he yelled any louder about where Tanic was, that he would wake up his parents.
Yes,
and they would. Yeah, and you know what? I completely feel that because if I was his age and if it was like 11 o'clock at night,
I do not hate this
tried
kid.
doing that shit, my parents would beat my ass.
I do not hate this kid because I'm sure he put a lot of effort into this. I could have not done much better at his age, and if he's doing stuff now, I kind of want to see it because I bet he's improved. But anyway. So this is, I think, where he actually is, and I still don't know what country or continent this kid is in.
He's seen some anime.
Well, looks like we're going to give them a little visit.
Oh, God.
That was a sinister laugh.
Wait, come back. I need to see that.
No, he's going to Earth.
Again.
He's going to Earth.
No.
It's time.
Wait.
So you are a hedgehog, but where did you learn to talk?
Really? I don't know. First day I was up in my planet. The next day...
Okay, now that he totally switched shading styles in between shots. He went from a thick outline to no outline for Tanic.
I guess he got one of his friends to do it.
Maybe. If you listen to this part, you'll hear Tanic's voice actor change in between lines.
I don't even know how I came here. I just remember a fight. But then... I waked up here.
So you came from another planet, eh?
Yep.
So that you got shut down behind my house?
That's right.
Wait, can you hear that sound?
Yes I can.
And now it's a chipmunk.
Aww.
Alright, now for the big fight scene.
Wait, there's fighting?
There is a fight scene. It's amazing.
He actually has him coming out. Oh, he is in fighting game ready. He's in that stance.
You have no idea. I can hear it there.
Man, I want to buy this kid a tripod. He is ready as shit. Holy crap.
Alright, that's enough. Time for some Mortal Kombat.
Get him, kid. Holy shit. I was just kidding. Oh my god. He has made it. Oh no! No!
Okay. To describe this, I'll admit, this probably took a lot of effort. This kid is flailing against nothing, but it's shot from like a side-scrolling view. He added life bars for himself and Dr. Neo, and this puppet rig knocked him out in like 2 or 3 hits.
He is an evil hedgehog.
Now the epic cliffhanger conclusion.
Neo wins. Fate.
No, don't kill the boy. He's just a boy.
He doesn't.
Well, Tanic, I was on the way to tell you that you are not the only one who got transported to Earth.
Oh no, it's Sonic X again.
Friends are here too.
It is Sonic X.
It's just a matter of time
Sonic
to
X.
find them. But you better
It's at least
find
more
them
interesting
quick.
than Sonic.
Okay, the kid gets a great line at the end when he takes off. I won't spoil it.
See ya, losers.
Everybody has to hear this line.
Shit! Oh God!
No, you missed the best line. I'm gonna rewind a few seconds. Just be quiet and listen to the kid's response.
Fuck! I lose!
I love that.
You wanna go in for the burger?
Sure.
Love it.
That's how it ends.
I like that.
Okay, Chris, if we have time for it, there is a second episode.
I'm gonna let this kid pass. That's fine.
All right, maybe another day, but I think we're gonna have to reuse this site more to watch more videos.
Sure.
And everybody look this shit up. And don't pile on this kid. I think he went offline anyway, but this is no better than most of us would do at that age.
Hell yeah.
He's expressing his creativity.
I mean,
I'll give him credit. He came up with something very entertaining.
I'm not even going to go to give him credit line because, I mean, yeah, it's obvious that at his age he's doing something with his art, and you know what? If he keeps doing it, that's gonna come out really good in 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm
maybe
gonna be honest with you. If this kid's getting hate for something that he put his heart in,
he did.
Okay, it's not. It's got some technical issues that we can easily laugh at. But I swear to God, if he keeps going in 10 years, he's going to be a fucking monster.
This thing is 10 years old, so if I can figure out where he went. But okay, but I just wanted to that can be our triumphant finale for this episode, and then on a high note. And I recommend everybody look up Tanic the Hedgehog. But to close this episode out, we actually kind of have some big news for the show for its direction for the next couple months that you recently informed me about today. Yeah. Chris, why don't you just set the first part up in terms of what you informed me about?
Yeah, sure. So to get a little serious at the moment, I have asked John that I've informed John that in the next couple of months I'll have to drop off the show for a little bit, just as a temporary hiatus. I have a couple projects that need to get taken care of. Obviously, I've been working on my film and trying to get it called The Will of Monsters and trying to get it funded. Mm-hmm. But I'm also working on a pilot for Jonathan Penick on Peter and Company.
I got to ask, is the Kickstarter for Will of Monsters up yet?
No, it's not the Kickstarter won't be up for about another year. Oh, okay. And that's right now I'm doing the paperwork to try and get some more funding. So
and you're working on this other pilot. That's the big thing.
Yeah, this pilot has been in production for a while, and there's been a lot of things that's been happening with the creator on his end. A lot of personal issues that he's had to take care of, and we've been trying to get it. Well, we've been trying to get it up and running for a while, so. Now we really want to go ahead and do that because people have been waiting and it's been a long time and shit. Mm-hmm. I want to get this thing done too. It's a fun project.
But this does mean less time to podcast. You said probably for the rest of 2017, roughly.
The rest of 2017 is going to be pretty kaput as far as my time is concerned.
We are going to be once again, as I christened it, Chrisless, not Christless.
Crisis.
But I've talked with Chris about it, and we've come up with since I mean, if I had to, I would put the show on hiatus till then. But because we've got a good thing going, I have started reaching out to past guests of the show and even others who haven't been on yet. So that includes Colin, obviously, Felipe, Tyler, Tyrone. Are we missing anybody?
Felipe.
I said Felipe.
Tyrone.
Felipe and Tyler, Tyrone, Patrick, Colin. I think that's everyone so far. I apologize if I'm forgetting someone. But and also there are 3 other Generation Animation hosts who we have talked to that have not been on. I reach out to them as well, Dave, Bianca, and Mark. And there might be other people in the future. And so basically, I may be attempting to do a kind of rotation of guests to fill Chris's spot for the next couple episodes over the rest of the year.
Now there is Now there is one other guest that we're trying to get, and I'm still trying to.
Yes, and it's a notable one, and of course what we're talking about. But we cannot guarantee anything, and we cannot say who it is until everything is cleared and confirmed.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit, and I'll be back for that particular episode.
If we do get that going, Chris will be back for that. But after that, you're not going to hear from him for a little while.
Yeah,
and we do apologize for those who. Because you are as much the heart of the soul as I am. Like, we've developed a great chemistry together talking about these things. We both expose each other to some cool things. Even though I'm the one who records and edits, like, if it was a one-man show, it would not be the same, and I probably wouldn't even do it. So, honestly, Chris, I do really value everything you've brought to it, and
I appreciate that.
And I know we'll get more whenever you are able to make your return. But real life takes commitments over podcasts about hedgehogs. So we obviously wish you the best in your project going forward. And in the meantime, please let me know about news like that. I would love to promote stuff like the pilot and any additional projects you have. So send me an email or tweet about that.
Sure thing. Yeah.
And also, this also means we were going to, after this, it would finally be Chris's first pick, and we were going to talk the movie Coraline. So I think we are going to save that, and my next pick would have been something that I now know we both love, though, and I'm gonna keep that a secret, and they will save those both for whenever you return, if you even want to do Coraline after that. I know I'm going to still pick my thing. So honestly, if you want to know what our next episode is going to be, because we are still trying to figure out who will guest star, when, and what their suggestions are, please follow our Twitter and social media and Facebook pages. We're on both Twitter and Facebook at SketchWatchPlay, one word. Those will be where we will post updates regarding both episode uploads and links, both on podcast feeds and YouTube, where it's all being archived, and teases for future episodes. So the moment I have something set up with the next guest and their choice, I will let you know. But for a little while, things are going to be in the dark. So please bear with us through this time, even though I'm sure we're still going to get some great episodes out of it, because we have had so much fun with every guest we've had on. Like, actually, I know one we're almost certainly going to get. Patrick, my brother, just moved back home after 8 years in New York, so it's going to be a lot easier to do something with him. I know he's a fan of the show. Our Pokemon episode is one of my most popular and my favorites. I think almost every episode we have the guest is just a blast.
And don't forget that you also have your quick thoughts on YouTube as well.
Oh, you cut off for a second, but yes, I do. I will continue promoting that. Please check out my YouTube channel, and we can promote ourselves too, obviously. So I'm under Behonkis, BEHONKISS on Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, DeviantArt, and bunch of other stuff. That's like my username for everything, and Facebook too. So I've been embracing the video reviews and productions lately. I just did a quick review of the PC version of Agents of Mayhem. I recommend you check it out. As a Saints Row fan, I was let down, but I still have some interesting things to say about in the video. And I'm currently working on one for an indie rhythm game called the Metronomicon. You will want to watch that, because I want to spread the word about this kind of game. This is an indie game that deserves all the love it can get. I will say that much. Okay. And Chris, where can people find you and your projects?
People can find me at Chris Top the Wade at Twitter. You can also find me on Christopher Wade on Facebook. You will also
his
find
avatar
me
on Facebook is his avatar for this show, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. And you'll also find me at Sparkflow Studios on YouTube as well.
Yep. So I would say it's the end of an era, except for the fact that we'll be back at some point. But we're entering a new little different phase of Sketch Watch Play. And even though it's partially saddening, I'm also intrigued to see what directions we go to with these different rotating hosts and what we talk about. Because obviously everybody will be in different approaches to it. Like we've already seen, Colin is so good at being analytical about these kind of things. Patrick is good at one-liners. Felipe and Tyler have like a mix of different factors, I feel. Same with Tyrone. And even others I haven't brought on yet. I'm very curious to see what they bring. Along with, if we do get this interview off the ground, again, stay tuned to our Twitter and Facebook for if that happens. You will start hearing about it there before we put it up. But thank you all for tuning. Man, we teased Sonic, and we've ended up with like 6 hours of Sonic talk. We delivered. You cannot say we didn't deliver.
Yeah, we hit that quota and then some.
I'm gonna have to decide if I want to split this into 2 episodes again. But thank you all for listening, and please give a thank you to Chris for the time he spent, and wish him the best in working on this future project.
Oh, fuck that. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast and for hearing me and John.
Our audience has been building, awesome. And I appreciate everyone who's spending time listening to this show and enjoying it. And again, we are always welcome to feedback. So on our Twitter or Facebook, leave comments on, it can be anything. It can be what you like, what you don't like, ideas, suggestions for topics. Like, we are open to anything you are willing to say, because community feedback is important, since you're the ones we're making the show for. We want to know what you like, don't like, what want.
Yeah.
But to bring things to a close, I am John Fleury.
And I'm Christopher Wade.
And we're entering a new phase. Strange, isn't it?
Oh boy, I'm never going to get that.
Me neither.